Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexi Outs here, and it is Tuesday. And the Raptors have won 2 games in a row, completing the back-to-back the last 2 days with two comeback from behind victories against the Golden State Warriors in overtime and the Orlando Magic last night with the 1-point victory over the Magic in Orlando, of the Magic of Orlando, I should say. Yeah, fantastic win. Really fueled by the bench, which was interesting, a little bit different than games we've had recently. Uh, the Raptors are showing a certain kind of will to win that is not necessarily the most easiest way to win, but they're going about it and winning. So that's something. They can shoot so horribly for most of the game and still win a game. That's pretty impressive because they shot really bad last night. And I was going to say this is like if they had lost last night, I was going to say, wow, the Raptors really lost because they missed too much. That's really what it is. Like just like with Washington, I would have said the same thing that the other team shot better than us. They deserved to win more than we did, and they played better than us. And that's just how it is. And you got to just accept that, Raptors Nation, even if it's stupid and you hate it. It's like accept that the other team was playing better and they deserved to win more because we didn't shoot as well, whether it was open shots or even free throws. They're missing free throws. And I'm like, yeah, Colin Murray Boyles, man, you got to tighten up, my guy. People may be celebrating you and you may be feeling real good. But like you said in the interview after the game, like Darko said, never get comfortable, bro. Because honestly, you're a work in progress and you always will be. And you have a lot of things you need to fix still. I'm just going to say that. You're definitely a rookie. Let's just put it that way. And missing 3 out of 4 important free throws at the end of the game. Yeah, you're lucky, my guy. You're lucky we won by 1, man. Because, Colin, I was going to blame you for losing that game last night if we didn't win. Seriously, I was going to blame Murray Boyles straight up for the Raptors' loss because he missed clutch free throws, 3 out of 4 at the end of the game. It's just poor concentration. That's not respecting the game and what it takes to win. In some ways, it's a flippant way to be. In some ways, it's just not respectable by me. These are free throws, and you're trying to win for your team, and you're the only one that has anything to do with making them. So if you don't show concentration, you don't bend your knees like Alvin told you to, and then you did it on the second one, you made it, and then you missed both of the next two. Yeah, man. I will come down on you real fast in a close loss when you miss late free throws like that, Colin. So you're lucky, rookie. You're lucky. You are lucky. And you are not one of my stars of the game for last night. I'm going to tell you guys that right now. He may have rebounded like crazy, but he kind of pissed me off a couple different ways last night. A couple different ways. I get it. You've been sick. You were in quarantine, apparently, away from the team. And people didn't want to get you near everybody. In some ways, I saw you as being tanned is what it looked like to me. It was like, this dude's sick. This guy looks like he's been on the beach for a couple days is what it looks like to me. Yeah, man, anyway, we won't just go on Colin Murray Boyles for too long here. A lot of people would be like, why are you doing that, Lex? He was amazing. Well, I just have a high standard for him. In some ways, I think that he is a very good talent. And he needs to clean his act up, seriously, because there's a lot of stuff he's doing that I don't like at all. Now he did admit this in his interview after the game, which was pretty awesome. He said, I rebounded really good against Miami the last time I played, and I'm trying to redo whatever I do well from other games. Like he's trying to duplicate. He's trying to make that be something he does over and over again. He said, when he do something good, I got to do it again because that's the right direction for me to grow. And that's exactly right. That's exactly right. The rebounding you showed against the Heat last week, the offensive rebounding particular, so helpful to the Raptors. And yeah, you got to be like that from now on. Like you got to be this dude that's just amazing, getting the hand on the ball, either rebounding it straight up or tipping the ball to somebody else. to give us more possessions. As you said in the interview last night, I'm trying to give my team more possessions, and you are, and that is very, very respected, and that is very, very loved, and that is very, very much encouraged. So replicate what's working. That's exactly right. You got to replicate what is working for you, Colin. And missing free throws is not working for you. So don't replicate that. Don't replicate that, Colin Murray Bowles. You're gonna drive me nuts. You're gonna drive me nuts. All right, let's get into the chat. Let's go ahead and do that. Well, first, the Raptors 905 we're gonna play today. 7:30 tip off at Paramount 5 Food Center. They're going to be playing the Westchester Knicks once again. This will be our third meeting with them this G League seasons. We beat them both times in the Showcase Cup come up part. And yeah, it'll be fun. So check out the Westchester Knicks Raptors 905 game tonight. Blake Murphy is reporting on the Blue Skies that Jonathan Mobo will be available for the 905 tonight, as well as the two ways, AJ Lawson and Elijah Martin, who were at the game last night for Orlando. But Chucky Hepburn is not going to be playing. He's dealing with knee soreness, and he will be out. So there'll be Lawson, Martin, Mobo available for Coach Andrew Jones tonight in Mississauga against Westchester Knicks. That's right. And the referees for the game are Charles Watson is the crew chief, number 60. Sarah Williams is the referee, number 20. And AJ Ganelli is the umpire, number 62. So just getting you guys set up for the undefeated Raptors 905's next match, which is tonight. We got basketball every night, baby. Closing out 2025. Yeah, no rest for us, Raptors fans. We got basketball all the time, like crazy. Doubly on Sunday. Basketball every day and 2 times on Sunday. That's right. That's kind of the life right now for a Raptor Freak with so much basketball. Watch Westchester at 7:30 tonight. I hope you'll join me in the YouTube chat in Canada. And then tomorrow, we get the Denver Nuggets, and it looks like Nikola Jokic might be hurt because he got hurt last night in Miami against the Heat, and it looks like it may be pretty serious. The Nuggets, this is a little early scout for tomorrow. I will do a proper preview on New Year's Eve. They have a lot of their key players hurt right now, so the Raptors have a really good shot to continue their win streak against the Denver Nuggets tomorrow night, get a 3-game winning streak. Because Jokic is looking like he's not going to play for sure. And, well, we know he's an MVP kind of level player that you take him off a team, the team is not going to be as good. That's for sure. He's not the only one who's hurt. But we'll have all the latest lineup news tomorrow for the Denver Nuggets game. It's looking like that, though, which is, yeah. So we'll do the stars of the game. We got other stuff. I don't know if I'm going to continue with the Instagram stories, guys. I'm not totally sure. This show is changing slightly as we go into 2026, and some of the segments I make pair off of the show at this point. All the Instagram stories have been kind of fun though and important at times for discovering things about our Raptors. That's such a tough decision. Maybe I'll put that up as a poll, guys, and we'll see what you guys say right here. Should I continue the Instagram stories? Should I continue the segment Instagram stories? Na-na-na. Na-na-na-na-na-na-na. All right, there's the poll. Okay. Oh, yeah, and I just covered up Trevor's first words, but he's saying this, something about the poorest person on the earth. Sorry, Trevor. Yeah, Trevor's words of wisdom. He's probably saying that, if you're not, you could be the richest person in the world, but you're not happy. But you could be happy if you're the poorest person in the world, if you have gratitude and happiness in your life, and you actually like look at things with wonder and like gratitude. Like I feel grateful for this. Like it's just a bird standing in a tree. Meanwhile, there's somebody who's got like 5 yachts and they're miserable. And they're like, they can't find any solace or happiness or contentment. Meanwhile, there's somebody who has nothing and they're just living in the moment present. And they are just so like in flow with the creator's energy and happiness, that they don't have to have any material things. That's the craziest thing. Human beings have created the illusion of stuff. It's not even really a thing. It's just a ego thing, to have more stuff than somebody else, to make yourself artificially feel better. Yeah, the true happiness is derived from inside you and not from outside objects. And that's really kind of the biggest thing that kind of has detached us from our natural connections to the natural world, which is the real world, not the world we've created as human beings. And almost everything that's man-made, everything that's plastic, is not something natural on this earth. And in some ways, it's something that we've kind of perverted and mutated ourselves into. And in some ways, it'd be smart for human beings to go in the other direction and get more in roots with their natural connections with the natural world, because that may be what we need to do to survive very soon. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Thank you, Trevor J. Blessings to the Jones family, all the Raptor Freak families out there. That's right. That's right. Trevor's saying this: the Raptors made the Magic disappear. In the end, what a comeback victory. Defense by Shead and Jacoby. Yes. The Raptors held the Magic to 12 points in the fourth quarter last night, which is quite impressive, because there's been a lot of quarters in recent games where it seems like the Raptors can't stop anybody. Like the Wizards. The Wizards went crazy on us last Friday, and we couldn't stop them from scoring at will. They were just scoring and scoring and scoring, and they scored like 150 points almost. This is something that's been concerning, that the Raptors don't have any kind of ability to stop the other team from scoring. This is something we need to be a good team in the NBA, is defense, in a shutdown. Well, they did it. They did it last night. Now, granted, the Magic are a weird team. I still think that Orlando Magic are extremely flawed. Extremely flawed. And I think that their build is not worth what they're doing. I think that they're walking down a dead end that's stupid as hell. And they're going to find that they get nowhere with this group of players they got. They were saying on the broadcast last night, Alvin and Matt, that the Magic need to stick with Paulo in France, just like Jalen and Jason Tatum in Boston, that this will work out this way. That's not true, because in some ways, Tatum and Brown have a certain complement to each other of difference that actually kind of works. And it did work. It proved to work in the end by them getting a championship. I don't see this with the Magic. I feel like Franz, even though he didn't play last night, and Paulo are too similar. And I also feel like this Magic team has major flaws, major flaws. Like at the beginning of the game, Jamal Mosley looked like he wanted to cry. It was weird. There's problems with that team underlying. There's problems with that team underlying. And I think that maybe that team is built too much like the Raptors were, like maybe 4 years ago. Like it's way too wing oriented, and there's not enough good shooting on it. And there's also not really a true point guard in a weird way. One thing I will say is the Magic have a great young player in Anthony Black. He has really changed a lot. And when they're saying that he should be in the running for most improved player, that's not lip service. That is true. That Anthony Black guy was really moving different. And between him, Paulo, and Desmond Bain, they did have some scoring punch for most of the game. But late in the game, what happened? These young guys, it was a young crew that was out there that was holding it down, and they did a very effective job. In fact, Brandon got involved in it. Brandon had a very key defensive play near the end of the game, making me look good from the stream yesterday, saying, I love when Brandon does defensive stuff, like gets a block. And he did. He got one late. He had a lineup with Scotty and Brandon. And then everybody else was switched out from the starting lineup. You had IQ out, which was highlighted by the reporter asking Darko after the game, why was IQ out of the game at the end? He said, because Jamal was in. IQ just didn't have it. And this is the kind of stuff we've been wanting to see Coach Rajakovic do, just in case. Like if don't just hold fast to the guys just because they're the most talented or highest paid. If they just don't have it at the end of the game, there's a better option. We want to see this kind of decisions, especially when they lead to victory. and things go good, too many people are celebrating that IQ got benched in the game last night. It's kind of silly. In some ways, that's if you're like that, you're toxic. All right. In some ways, it should be like, you know what? We went with our best lineup to win last night, and he just didn't happen to be in. And it's not a slight to him, but so many people have such aggressive anger towards IQ that they're celebrating that he got benched at the end of the game last night. That's stupid. Who the fuck are you people? Seriously. No, this was the right decision. Celebrate Darko for it. Celebrate the guys who are on the court, but there's no reason to denigrate IQ for it because, he's had some very good games recently. In fact, the game against Golden State, he had a fantastic game against the Warriors. And on a second night of a back-to-back, in some ways, this is smart of Darko to put the other guys out there late instead because IQ just didn't have it yesterday. And there's nothing wrong with this. And in some ways, IQ, this isn't the first time this has happened to IQ or any other player. And IQ wasn't the only starter that got taken out at the end of the game. Sandro did too for Colin Murray Boyles. And Oshai got taken out for Jacoby. So it's like, you guys can come and dump on IQ all you want, but it's stupid. Why? Because you might as well do the same thing to Sandro. You might as well do the same thing to Oshai because those guys started the game too, and they didn't finish it either. So it's stupid. It's so dumb. The one thing that's good about what they're saying is we're happy with Darko because he made that decision. And we're like, wow, I believe in our coach again. Yeah, that's part of what we're hearing around Raptors Nation today is that, yeah, I believe in our coach again. Wow, look at these two come from behind victories against Golden State and Orlando 2 days in a row on the back-to-back. This is fantastic. Our coach is awesome. This is what I want to hear. Not necessarily, yay, you benched IQ. Thank you. People are so crazy about that. But yeah, let's not get it twisted. He's not the only one who got benched at the end of the game. And it's not even really benching. It's just Darko going with the best five. And the one that was carrying defensively at the end of the game and letting it ride as far as let these guys close it out. Colin Murray Boyles, in some ways, I didn't like him being out there at the end of the game, obviously, because he's missing free throws. And in some ways, you have to earn the right to play at the end of the game, Colin. And if you're going to miss free throws, in some ways, that's not earning the right. And then Jacoby, obviously, wow. Him and Shead for sure. And Colin too, and Scotty and Brandon were a certain defensive combination that really cut the water off on the Orlando Magic in the fourth quarter. And it was just a dogged defense, a ratcheted up intensity. I've likened it to a boa constrictor constricting the life out of its prey slowly but surely as the game goes on. And by the end of the game, it's very much choking them out. Your offense will not do anything against us now because we've just raised the intensity. And we're the team on the second night of a back-to-back playing on fumes. And we're the team that's holding you down and not letting you do jack shit, Desmond Bane and Paulo Banchero. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's a great team effort, and it shows a will to win by the Raptors. In some ways, that's saying just win, baby. Well, that was in effect last night. It wasn't pretty. We shot horrible. We looked ugly in that game, but we found a way to get that win just by 1 point, and it was scary because the Magic were set up for a buzzer beater win on the end there. The timing was not right. And it wasn't even like it was just like 1 point lead. And all they needed to do was make a 2-pointer. But for some reason, they drew up a play to give it to Paulo, and he launched a 3 from way far outside, which is dumb, which is a horrible coaching by Jamal. And also just a stupid decision by the Magic. When you only need 1 point to win over us, you go for a 2. So I'm not going to, it's over. It's done with. We won. Thank God. But it was really set up for a heartbreaking loss of a last second shot of the Magic winning by 1 right at the end of the game. But alas, it didn't happen. The Raptors played very good defense, and Paulo took a crazy ass 3 and he missed. But that was scary because the timing wasn't right for us to win. And we did need those defensive stops at the end of the game to make this happen. And thank God it was just enough, Colin Murray Boyles, that I didn't have to make you the loser of the night for missing 3 out of 4 free throws at the end of the game. Yeah, it was crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, Trevor's saying IQ has the worst game of the season. His shot wasn't going down. Yeah, well, there's no reason to pile on him. This is what I do. Look, let's cause a diversion, Trevor. Let's not worry about IQ today. How about that? We'll just let him have a pass because in some ways he is a streaky guy. And it's not that he had his worst game, it's just he didn't shoot well last night. Because there are things he did in the game that are actually very helpful, even if he didn't shoot the best. You know, he was a minus 18, which is the worst on the team. He did have 2 for 12. He had 4 points. He missed all 6 of his threes, 5 rebounds, though, 5 assists, and 1 turnover. So, if anything, he got 5 rebounds and he had a 5-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. So, I don't know. Let's lay off of IQ. In some ways, people have been, he's been one of those players that people just keep coming at all season with really keeping him under the microscope. So, science lab, let's put the microscopes up on IQ yesterday. Give him a pass. We won. We won by 1. And honestly, I don't even know why people feel the need to come after people when we've won. Seriously, I don't get that. But Stargate called it. I said it last night on Discord. I said, you know, I hope people are happy in Raptors Nation. Stargate said, nah, you know, they're going to come after IQ after this. I'm like, oh my gosh, these losers. Can't you just be happy and enjoy the Raptors winning? Do you have to pick apart a player every single time, Raptors Nation? It's so dumb. It is so dumb. What if IQ comes out on New Year's Eve against the Nuggets and drops almost 30 points and hits like 7 threes and is just absolutely electrically phenomenal? So that's what I'm saying. Ride with your dudes, whether they're up or down, and be supportive towards them. That's what a fan is. You guys want to be wannabe critiquers and critics and basketball analysts and all this bullshit. Fuck that. You're a fan. And true fans support their team and root for them. They don't like act like little shits, is what I'm saying. It's so ridiculous. Some of the reactions from yesterday in some ways. That's right. Black Mamba is back in the house. Good to see the Black Mamba back on the Raptor Freak chat. And God willing, Lex is on time today. That's right. Lex is on time. A little weird. Stay tuned for program technical difficulties. I'm coming in at 3 o'clock. So weird, man. I've never done a stream at 3 p.m., I don't think, until yesterday. That was weird, man. But you know what? I got good views for being so late in the day. And, you know, Ref Report was helpful. James Capers, you know, kind of being a dick. Pat O'Connell is not a friend to us, but Giamitas, you're cool. You're cool. But yeah, challenges were interesting. There were a couple of weird calls there, but for the most part, the referees didn't get in the way of the Raptors winning, which is something that matters. You know, that matters. Black Mama's saying, God bless the motherfucking Raptor streak. Let's go, baby. Woo. That's right. Somebody's happy. We winning. W's. You can find my website at www. You can find my website at W. That's right. Look at all those raptors. Wow, he's got a whole zoo of raptors out there. Very dangerous. Very, very much like the movie in that island. Yeah, I see that they're loose. Look out. The Raptors are loose. It looks like he's got the whole roster. Now, you know, with Mo Bamba on the team, the Raptors are 18 strong finally. This whole season, we've been playing with one empty chamber in the Raptors roster gun. And, well, we filled the chamber finally with Mo Bamba, and we have 18 players on the team now. And in the team photo, that's the picture for the stream today, you see all 18 of the individuals that are Toronto Raptors currently, which is awesome. The 3 two-ways of Martin, Hepburn, and Lawson. And then you got your 15 roster guys with the addition of Mo Bamba. We found out yesterday also that Mo Bamba has some pre-relations with the Raptors as far as he's played with different people. Apparently, RJ stayed at Mo Bamba's house when he was a high school kid. Yeah. He came to New York and he was in New York and Mo Bamba put him up at his house and he stayed with him. This is way before the NBA. This is when they were young. He's also got prior connections to Scotty. Scotty and Mo Bamba have known each other for a few years. We also, you know, and I noticed this was actually true this summer. We saw Mo Bamba around the team when we were traveling this summer, guys. So he's been kind of lingering on the periphery of the Raptors a little bit. Like, it was weird. There were, like, a couple of pictures I saw from the summer, and Mo Bamba was just in the picture with them, and I'm like, "Wait, why is Mo Bamba with the Raptors?" I'm like, "What? That's weird." So there's a little bit of, familiarity and, already kinda being in the fold with the guys. So he's not coming in completely unknown, and his personality has already kinda been around some of our Raptors already, so they kinda already know him. That's good. That's good. I thought that his first stint wasn't horrible. I mean, he'd had that weird stumble around in the middle with all the blocks and kind of awkward, but he's just got to figure out his timing and his place with the placement in the schemes of the defense that the Raptors want to do. And when he cleans that up and he finds his comfortableness in the space in the middle, I'm sure he's going to be very beneficial to the Raptors. In fact, we kind of already saw it a little bit last night where he can be a deterrent to stop people from coming inside. And maybe some of the stuff where people have been just going down through the lane and scoring on us so easy most of the season will stop a bit because Pirtle's pretty good at stopping that kind of stuff when he's available. And that's been the whole gripe for Raptors Nation is we need somebody to do that when Pirtle's not available. And well, Bamba will do it. Bamba will do it. So I don't know, man. I'm rooting for him. I like what Darko said before the game about Mo Bamba coming to the team. He said this is an opportunity for him to show the league that he belongs in it. And that that's what that's what it means right there. Is like, look, we can only do so much. We can bring you in, we can put a Raptors jersey on you, but you have to do the work, Mo Bamba. You have to show that you take this seriously. You learn our system. You do what coach says. You work hard. And who knows? Maybe you fuck around and you're a Raptor for a little while. Maybe you stick around because there's no guarantees. And in some ways, you are very much being auditioned. And this is not for the rest of the year, like a lot of people may think already. If he does not do the right things, if he's not listening, if he's not fitting in with the whole professionalism of the Raptors, they will say hasta la vista to Mo Bamba. They will. So, and Darko made it very clear in his pregame interview that it's like he is getting auditioned, and it's up to him. He has to prove to the league and to the Raptors that he belongs in the NBA. And it's not just like you show up, you got the spot. No, 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 no. You got to put in that work, and you got to assimilate to our system and figure out how to play with the other guys in a nice way that works in a winning way. And well, it was the first stint in the first half, not very long. And well, basically, you got a block, and that's about it. I mean, I'll look at the box score real quick. We're going backwards. We're going to do the guys who didn't play a whole lot. Mo Bamba, 0 points, didn't take a single shot, got 1 block, and that's it. Was a -9. Yeah, not the greatest Raptor debut, but he got out there and he got in the jersey, and Raptors Nation can feel better about the center depth on our team all of a sudden, right? That's the whole point, right? Is that we needed the center depth. And I think that I like Bobby being a populist, man. In the past, Masai and Bobby wouldn't do the obvious thing. They kind of pull a fast one, and then they do like some interesting thing, like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. That's interesting. Wow. This one, he pretty much listened to the room. He read the room and he said, yeah, well, the fans are saying we should just get Mo Bamba. Yeah, I watched him. I mean, he was really good on Salt Lake City. You know what? Maybe we should just get Mo Bamba. Dan, let's go get Mo Bamba. Yeah. And they get Mo Bamba within a week of Mo Bamba beating the Raptors 905 on a Monday in Orlando at the Winter Showcase Cup final. Yeah, Mo Bamba, a guy who made some money off of that too, because they got paid for that. That's right. They got paid. They got the championship money. That's right, for the Winter Showcase. That's right. That's right. Trevor J is saying this. It feels very beautiful to know ESPN is so wrong about the U.S. once again. About us. Why you say U.S. in big letters? That you should just write it in small letters, U.S. Because that you write it like that, that makes me say U.S. No, put it in small letters. Us. Us is the word. All right, here we go. We're gonna get 4 quarters with Seymour Pape, guys. Let's go. Calgary's in the house. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I have a quick question. I'm a little type. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You just said that you seen Mo Bamba in pictures with the Raptors over the summer?
Yeah.
So, Lex, you knew the whole time that we were going to get this guy, and we're just throwing out all these damn names, regurgitating ourselves and stuff? And you
No. Well, you got to understand this, Seymour. That doesn't mean that he was on the team. You got to understand. I saw him in places like, like Vegas Summer League. Like he's just hanging out partying with them, like in off hours. He wasn't on the practice court with them.
Oh, okay. Well, you've seen him hanging out with them and stuff.
Yeah, because I think he's friends with them. Like I've seen him on Instagrams with like different Raptors at different times because he's friends with some of them. And it was really informal hanging out with them. It wasn't he was with the Raptors in a Raptors uniform or anything like that, practicing with them. It was more that he was just socializing with them in different places. I think one of the places I saw him with them was it a trip to Montreal or something? It was something weird. It was very out of place. And it was all Raptor guys, and then Mo Bamba in the picture with them. And I'm like, wait, why is Mo Bamba with them? And I didn't think much about it because it was only really like a couple of pictures, and it wasn't like official or anything. And how NBA can be, people are friends and they hang out and stuff like that. So. Yeah.
Yo, I just want to salute the Raptors for real because you know what? What we seen last night, that's what I want. That's what I think of our team. Like we're down 21. A lot of the casual fans turned the TV off.
Yep.
A lot of people was like, damn, they probably started complaining, looking to nitpick who we gonna blame. As you see, they're calling out calling out all these names this morning. Yo, we seen one of the best wins we've ever seen. We were down 21 and everyone thought we were out, and we still came back and won the game.
Yeah.
It's before I run because I gotta run.
All right. Well, Seymour's out. Thanks for calling in and giving us a question real quick.
Hear me out.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
The performance between Draymond and Scotty, or the Banchero and Scotty performance, which one did you relish more?
Well, to me, I mean, Draymond's already so far down the road. In some ways, he's not his peer that he has to compete with to beat. I could bet he could beat an old man Green anytime. It's more the Banchero stuff because him and Banchero are very much compared a lot. And because Paulo's behind Scott, I find that he's getting stuff ahead of him. And in some ways, it's partly like the Team USA stuff. It's all-stars and, the glazing of the U.S. media. Paulo gets way more of that than Scott. So it's important for us to see Scott beat Paulo because in some ways that needs to change the narrative, just like him and Evan Mobley and other guys from his draft class. And it just frustrates the hell out of me because like Scotty, his votes in the All-Star are showing that the perception and the media blackout is affecting these people. Brandon's getting more votes because he's been promoted and marketed in the United States. He's more familiar because he's been on the Lakers and even on the Pelicans to a degree. But Scotty, not even being in the top 20, is messed up. And this is symptomatic of them over pushing these other guys in contrast to him.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So they're both rookie of the years.
Yeah.
But Banchero, you're right. He's in Disney. He's in Disney World or Disneyland. I don't know which one it is.
He's in the States, and Scotty just gets a cold shoulder partly because of that. It's the harder route Scott's going on. That's why it's going to be all the more sweeter. You can see that Scotty's a way more fleshed out, complete player than Paulo in the game last night.
And kudos on you for calling out Jalen Green because out of all those names like Scotty, Evan Mobley, Cade, we see Cade getting glazed, but he deserves it because he's pulling up Detroit.
Yeah.
But Jalen Green, I thought his name would be ringing bells too with these guys, but his name ain't ringing bells. And you called it.
It partly is just a player build, and the style of play that he plays is not conducive to winning. It's one of these guys that can score like crazy, but he's not a player that's going to get you championships because he's frustrating. Those kind of players are frustrating to me. And it's no surprise to me that Houston has already moved him on to Phoenix like they did this summer. So, yeah. You sure you don't want to do 4 quarters? I mean, it seems like we've already done 2 quarters here.
Nah, I'm good, man.
All right, man.
On the west side of this Mountain Standard Time is cooling. But, yeah, man, just keep it going. Keep the W's. Y'all stay safe out there.
Yeah, man.
And enjoy the holidays.
Yeah, man. Happy New Year, Seymour. And hope you have a great rest of your day at work. Let's go Raptors. Let's get these dubs and finish the year right with a win over the Nuggets. How about that?
Cheer.
Yeah. Woo. All right, cool. We got an impromptu call from the sheriff, the city slicker. Hold it down in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. That's right. We're nationwide here, baby. Seymour Pape. That's right. Seeing that Pape while he's working in the warehouse. That's right. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, ESPN's so annoying, man. There's something they did, like they have a article on SGA being the NBA Player of the Year, and they list all the NBA players of the year in the past, and they have 2019 Kawhi Leonard, Los Angeles Clippers, listed in there. It's just every little dumb way they can slight us and take away some of our prestige. Fuck you, ESPN, with your bullshit. That was Kawhi Leonard, 2019 Toronto Raptors, and never forget that. Yeah, oh man, ESPN makes me so mad. And in some ways, I'm like, why do I even go to this site? Well, I want to look at the NBA standings. And that may be why. And I'm looking at us, and we held fast. We've been in a precarious situation for a couple weeks with how jammed up the Eastern Conference is, and so few games between like the third seed all the way down to, well, it's kind of starting to spread out a little bit more. But we'll say to the 8th seed. And winning last night and Boston losing, we're now only a half game behind the Celtics for third again. And, ESPN came out with this thing a couple days ago saying that we're going to finish 8th by the end of the year. That their prediction is, and this is how they feel about us, is that by the end of the year, we'll be in the 8th spot in the play-in when all the dust settles by the end of the year. Man, put that on the bulletin board, Darko, and show those guys just how stupid the U.S. media and the ESPN is. Think of that, because right now we're sitting at 4th solidly, and we are still trying to stay in 4th or 3rd by the end of the year. You guys thinking that we're going to go all the way down there? Nah. We've now beaten Orlando as of last night. We beat Miami twice. We've gone even with Philadelphia. The first game was a trap game. We've swept the Cavaliers for the year this year. We've beaten Atlanta for the year also. So it's like, what the hell? You guys going to put us all the way down underneath these other teams? Who's coming up to get us? No. We're more likely to leapfrog Boston before the end of the year into 3rd and be behind Detroit and New York. That's really what I think it is. But yeah, it's awesome that we won, because in some ways, I didn't mention this yesterday, but this is true. Like the game yesterday was a fight for the 4th spot in the Eastern Conference, because the Magic beat us last night. They jump above us and we go to 5th. So this was a really important win for the Raptors in some ways. The skin of their teeth, and just, oh man, gutsy win. And Seymour likes it. That's right. That's right. All right, let's see. James is here. Good to see Raptor Freak James is in the house. Lex, what's your thoughts on Mo Bamba? Hang on. Let me make sure I read his full comment. Mo Bamba's play, even though it was only 4 minutes. I like the shot blocking threat. I like that. That's basically one of the biggest things he can do with just being on the court, is he will make people think twice about coming in the lane while he's out there on the side that he's on. I just want to see him take all the experience and the knowledge and the things he's learned from his journey as a basketball player to culminate to this point where he has an epiphany of maturity, and he decides, wow, this is how I can be the best basketball player I can possibly be. And I'm going to be in the right place mentally and just maturity-wise, and just boom, do it. Because listen, he's been around the league for a couple of years now. He's been a high draft pick. He's been useful at times, but also at times he's been an enigma and a mystery. And he's found his way off of teams somehow, some way. So it's like, Mo Bamba, man, you going to try and take it this time, because this may be one of your last opportunities in the big league called the NBA. And you don't want to flub that. You don't want to fumble it. You want to make the best of it, especially being in an organization like ours, where you got some really good opportunities here to shine and do some amazing things. So, man, don't mess it up, Mo. Take real special care of this. Seriously. All right, we got our second call today. We've got our infamous 6. Here we go, sir. How are you today?
I'm great, Lex. How you doing? My friend?
I'm very good, man. It's been awesome, these back-to-backs. Hey, winning, it really rejuvenates the soul.
Absolutely, winning.
Yeah.
So I'll quickly go through my key points, and
sure.
We'll get right at it. So first, I want to start off with Mo Bamba. The Mo Bamba addition, I think, is great for the Raptors. He offers rebounding, rim protection, all things that we lack. But I want to hear your opinion on this. I think, this is just my opinion, it might be a slight indictment on Alex Sars to a certain degree, because I'm sure the Raptors probably wanted to like develop Alex Sars.
You mean Olivier?
Olivier Sars, sorry.
Yeah.
Olivier Sars. And I think they probably wanted to develop him and put him in that position, but he hasn't gotten to that point where they could use him. And if you notice, I don't know if you noticed this in the Raptors 905 games, he's actually picked up his play. Like, we can change our opinion on him, because in the beginning we were like, oh, there's no hope for this dude. But he's playing with a little bit more edge now, and he's playing a little bit more better. Maybe that lit a fire under him, the whole Mo Bamba thing, to say, hey, they had to go outside to get somebody while I'm here. So what do you think about that?
I think that it's an interesting opinion you have. This is where I'll start with Shamshay. Happy birthday, Ulrich, by the way. It's Ulrich Shamshay's birthday today, guys, because this is really the spot we're talking about. We're not talking about a spot for Sar. We're talking about a spot that was originally supposed to be for Shamshay. And I did some more research on the Fitness to Play panel today, just in honor of Ulrich, because, it's his birthday, and I wanted to kind of like have him, like, I wanted to learn more, and I wanted to see who was actually gone on the Fitness to Play panel, and also what has happened with them. And I'm telling you, the list is not that long. There's like a few guys that have gone on it, and it's crazy. But either way, I digress. Getting back to your question, Shamshay going away all of a sudden, he was the plan. It was never Sar. It was Shamshay. And when Shamshay was stripped from us from the Fitness to Play, we had Sar in summer league, and then we had him in training camp. The thing about Olivier Sar is that he is not that good. I mean, he's had good games recently. He's had I would say out of like the 16, 17, 18 games of the Raptors 905 have played this season, he's only had like 3 or 4 good games.
Correct.
And that if you're looking at the whole body of work, man, that's not enough consistency or stability. And the crazy thing is, this is not even on the Raptors level. This is on the G League level. He has only had 3 or 4 good games. So there's no way Olivier Sar, because part of the problem watching these games, all of them, he is making very dumb mistakes, like dumb turnovers. He's not paying attention. Sometimes he's like, it makes me go crazy. Yeah. Now, he did have a really good game on Saturday. He had a fantastic game. He got the chain. He was a huge reason why. But on Sunday, he didn't have a good game again. So it's kind of, I mean, he had a 9 and 9, I think. He had a 9 and 9, which is not bad. He had a 9 and 9 with 1 rebound. But he didn't shoot very well. He's just not reliable. Mo Bamba is definitely a way better G League player than him, and we saw it when they played Salt Lake City on that Monday.
Oh yeah. And the thing with Mo Bamba, I'm noticing. Here's the thing: what Darko said is it's an indictment to say that, hey, listen, this might be your last chance.
Yeah,
you got to come out. Listen, nothing's going to be handed to you. You come out here, you put in the work, and you will stay, just like you said. Because here's the thing: the question that every Raptor fan needs to ask themselves: why is a guy this tall, 7'2", with a 7'10" wingspan, playing in the G League?
Not only that, he was a lottery pick. He was in the top. I think he was like a top 5 pick or something like that. It's crazy.
He was a top 5 pick for Orlando.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the thing. It's like you be a really big, talented guy, but if you don't have the work ethic, or you don't have the smarts, or you don't take it as seriously, just because you're a big guy, you got really far in your basketball career, right? Then you get to the NBA and you see, wow, this is a whole other level of taking it seriously and doing all this. Am I going to be able to change my habits as a person to try and stay alive in this ecosystem? That may be part of the problem, because big guys like him that are so inherently athletically talented, they may not work as hard as other guys, like somebody like Fred VanVleet. And then that, in some ways, that is part of the reason why they don't stick in the league, is because they just don't have that. So is there a period of time where Mo Bamba is like, you know what, I'm not going to have this in my life if I don't get my act together, and I'm losing it. And then all of a sudden he shapes up, and then he's saying, like, you know what, this is what it takes. now I know after a couple of times failing at this location, not sticking here, this is what it takes. And is this my last chance? And will I finally get it up here as far as what upstairs. It takes? Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly upstairs. And if he can put it together, show our coaching staff, show the team, he will stick around because he is something that we need.
They asked Colin after the game. They said, how does it feel to get a guy like Mo Bamba added to the mix? He said, oh my gosh. Oh man, it's such a relief because like we've been playing small ball center and, you know, without Yak out there, it's been Scott, Sandro, and myself. And it's just been, this will be so much like a reinforcements to help with some of the stuff that we've been struggling with. So
correct. And let me move on to quickly.
Sure.
Listen, y'all. Please. We got to stop, dude. We really got to stop doing this. I'm not talking about you, Lex. I'm talking
I know. We're just talking in general, Raptors Nation.
In general, Raptors Nation.
Yeah.
Listen, Quickly, if you pay attention, the last couple of games, Quickly has played well. And I noticed as soon as Quickly had, why are players not allowed to have a bad game? It happens. Scott has had a bad game.
Yeah.
RJ's had a bad game. Even Ingram has had a bad game. But as soon as Quickly has a bad game, we're quickly, pun intended, to dump on him and to call him out and say that he's this and he's that. Listen, give the man a chance. Let him develop. He's still developing at that position, believe it or not. Right?
Yeah,
so we got to stop dumping on this dude, man.
I completely agree with you. I think that people should have some leash on, you know, being understanding about players' ebbs and flows as players. And certain players are more streaky than other players. And the other thing that we got to understand, to me, I've always said this. I said this for a couple of years now on this channel. The only stat I care about the most is that W at the end. Is getting that W. And, you know, even if Quickly had a bad offensive game last night, he got 5 rebounds and 5 assists. He contributed to the 1-point win. Without his little add into it, we don't win. We can technically say that. Every single player has stepped on the floor. Even Mo Bamba, who only got a block, contributed to a 1-point win. It's a team effort. And, you know, that's the stat that matters. Is that they won the game at the end by 1. And like nitpicking about every single individual player, which I'll do on the box score in just a couple minutes, is like, as long as you're doing it with a constructive criticism and a good place in your heart, but otherwise, some people just seem like they gleefully like to take people down. I really do.
Yeah, it's weird. I find it very weird. Because here's the thing. Every player on our team is not perfect.
Yeah.
I can point to every single player and say, hey, you know what? He needs to improve in this area.
Yeah.
He needs to work on this. Quickly is not a perfect player.
Yeah.
None of our players are perfect.
You know, what's really interesting about last night is that basically in the first half, we didn't get anything from our starters. You know, Brandon, Scotty, and IQ had hardly any points, and we were carried by Oshai, Grady, Jacoby, Jamal. Like all these bench guys carried us in the first half. And then we got stuff added in by BI and Scotty late. But those 3 main starter guys, and RJ not playing yesterday, they didn't really help us in the beginning. And we're kind of doing it through the bench and being scrappy, just to hang with Orlando in the first half, which was very interesting. Yeah.
And my 2 more points. And Walter, I want to get to Walter. Walter, I got to say, Walter has been the catalyst for our 2 wins. Because if you notice, the defensive intensity in the previous game, I'm talking the Golden State game. If you notice his defensive intensity at the end of the third, or before, I think it was before the end of the third, he's what sparked when he was playing defense and when he was playing full court defense, he sparked us getting back into the game.
Yep.
And his defensive intensity also sparked this game as well, us getting back into it. So in both games, him being energetic, picking up his man, getting in, being scrappy is what has led us both our wins.
Yeah.
If you pay attention closely.
Yeah.
I know you picked up on that as well. So
for sure. For sure. The thing with Walter and even Dick to a very similar in a couple ways the last 2 games where they're building off of scrappy energy, like hustle plays, and they're finding confidence in their shot through the scrappiness. Like it's no joke that all of a sudden Jacoby's hitting threes partly because he's getting really good confidence from, you know, getting strips and steals and rundown dunks and transition. That helps all of a sudden him feel better. And all of a sudden the threes are looking way better and going in more too. Now, the one thing about Jacoby that was amazing, like in the Golden State game, he was like a spark, like you said, but in the game last night, he was sustaining as a defensive player in the fourth.
He's getting better. He's getting
well,
better.
It was just that he had that whole period where he really held it down and was, in some ways, he was like the captain of our defense in the fourth quarter last night.
Correct.
And that I really like that. I like that energy and leadership. You know, obviously Scott's doing his part too, as far as being a leader on defense and stuff. But not Colin, but Jacoby was very much being a defensive leader in the fourth quarter. Yeah, it was awesome.
My last two points. Listen, folks, everybody's listening in Raptors Nation. Listen to me very carefully. Listen to me. We need to get Scotty in the All-Star game. It's an embarrassment.
Yeah.
That it's a total embarrassment that this man is below, was he 20?
He's not in the top 20 in the East.
Not even in that is disgusting.
Darko very adamant about this. In fact, he was crying out the Canadians, saying there's 40 millions of us. Why is he so bad? And he's putting it on us as a country to help Scott because he knows in some ways he's not getting promoted in the United States correctly.
Yeah.
That's part of it. And you know, I think that part of it is also that up here, we don't advertise all-star voting very mainstream across Canada. It's like if you watch Raptors games or go to the game, you know, oh, all-star voting is going on right now. If you're Raptors freaks like us, we're voting every day. But most people across Canada, it's not on their blip or even care about it or anything like that. So that's part of it. I think that I don't think it was ever really realistic that Scotty was going to get voted to start in the all-star game. So then in some ways that's like, it's annoying and it's like I don't like it, but in some ways it doesn't really matter because he'll get on the team on the merits of what he's done through the coaches. And
the coaches will get him there.
Yeah, because he's undeniably like one of the top players in the East and absolutely an all-star.
In the league, I'm not even going to say. I would say I'll go as far as to say the league.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do that,
15,
I mean, if we're saying that he's one of the top 20 players in the league, I'll get behind that for sure.
Yes. And my final question, Lex, this is to you. This is directed at you.
Sure.
And I've asked this question to maybe go into the genesis of where this conversation sparked on another call.
Okay.
I won't get into it. But I'm going to ask you this question. If the Raptors did not exist, would you still watch basketball?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I fell in love with basketball before the Raptors existed. I was an NBA fan in the 80s. And my first team ever was the Pistons, Detroit Pistons, with the bad boys, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Bill Laimbeer, Vinnie Johnson, James Edwards, Dennis Rodman. And then when the expansion Magic, which is kind of funny, we're doing this stream today, started in Florida, that became my team because they were brand new. And I followed the Magic until the Raptors came into the league. And then that was over. That was my hometown, being from Toronto, even though I grew up in Florida, you know, because I didn't grow up in Canada. I learned how to ice skate. I never played hockey in my life. So it truly was the sport that I played as a taller individual when I was younger. And I come by it very, very honestly. In some ways, that's, you know, growing up in the States and not growing up in Canada is a big reason why. So, yeah, no, I'd be a basketball fan regardless because I love the sport.
So you still watch the NBA, right? You still watch the
NBA? I'd probably still watch the NBA because I was a big NBA fan way before the Raptors started. Like, I was probably an NBA fan for about 10 years before the Raptors started. So
I'm glad you said it because we're both in the same boat. We basically have a similar story to a certain degree. Yeah,
same age bracket.
Yeah. I was watching basketball. My team was the Bulls before the Raptors ever existed. So I understand what you're saying.
Yep.
Because before, people don't realize that there was basketball before the Raptors. So we were watching basketball before the Raptors, and if you remember, basketball only came on Sundays.
Yeah.
I try to tell people, like, basketball wasn't a thing that was consistent every day of the week. You only saw it on Sundays.
It depends.
If you're lucky, yeah.
It was
on Go ahead. Go ahead.
There were some games I would watch on like Tuesday nights on TBS. There would be like a Hawks game, and I'd be watching Dominique, and there were games on other days and stuff. But the premiere day was the NBA on NBC on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if you would catch some of the Bulls games on
WGN.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all my questions. I
awesome.
wish you and the Raptors family a happy new year. I wish you all the best and most successful next year. And that whole thing about us being 8th, that's nonsense, man.
Yeah, that's what they want, but that's not what they're gonna get.
Yeah. I appreciate you taking my time.
Yeah, no problem, Infamous. It's always nice to have the Infamous 6 on the Raptor Freak stream. Y'all have a great day, Infamous. And I know I'll talk to you again on the phone very soon. Happy New Year's.
Thank you, sir.
All righty, cool, man. Let's go Raptors. Awesome, man. So another great call from another great Raptor Freak there, talking a lot of different subjects there. Very, very good stuff there. I love talking about all that. That was awesome, man. Yeah, so James was asking me, what is my thoughts on Mo Bamba's play, even though it was only 4 minutes? Well, he's going to be a good deterrent, and hopefully he'll rebound a lot too. His footwork was a little weird and crazy in that little bit of time, but you know what? We'll just have to get him, like, we're going to have to figure it all out around him and get the spacing right. And in some ways, there's a lot of promise. Let's just put it that way. CMB leveling up. Yeah. I mean, I'm dumping on him for the free throws, but man, the talent is there. And in some ways, you know what bugs me? And this is the thing that, the Raptors are such a talented team. They could be missing so bad and play so awfully and still come back and win a game by 1 point. And there's so much stuff they could tighten up and do better. I know Scotty getting a breakaway dunk and him looking back, it drives me absolutely nuts because it's a horrible habit. It's going to burn him at some point. If he's going to try and do this shit in the championship finals or in the playoff game and he gets burned for that, people will be mad at you, Scott. So taking unnecessary risks, like I'm going to be cocky and look back at you and stuff like that, you can't do that in the games that really matter. In some ways, I hate that you do it in these games, because it's a bad habit. And, there's little bad habits that young players have on our team that could get cleaned up and we'll be even better because of the goofy stuff that they do that just is not necessary. Not necessary. And I just want to see them tighten up a little bit more. My first star of the game last night is Jamal Shead. Jamal Shead got the chain, and Jamal Shead has had a winning impact on this team over this 2-game back-to-back. He was a plus 34 on Sunday with not the best stat line, but he had a fantastic stat line last night. Apparently, he got his career high again scoring. I swear this guy scored over 20 points at some point, but he hasn't. 19 points for Jamal, 29 minutes, 8 of 15 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3. These threes have been huge for building spark to come back. Like Jamal himself in the third quarter has sparked like these offensive runs that get us back in the game. Like he individually as himself, he hits a couple threes and all of a sudden we're cutting the lead down to 10 all of a sudden. And single-handedly, 3 of 6 from 3, missed both his free throws, which is somewhere I'm saying right now, these guys got to concentrate and play better and hit their free throws. And they'll be even better for it. 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 turnover, 1 block for Jamal Shead, and plus 13. He was definitely the catalyst for coming back. He was a floor general. He was a leader. And yes, he was the point guard on the court at the end of the game. But let's not get it twisted. We've had Quick Shed going on lately at the end of the game. And we saw Quick Shed early in the game too, where they play Quickly and Shed together on the court. And that Quick Shed lineup is versatile in some certain ways. So yeah, number 1 star, Jamal Shead for sure last night. Grady Dick is my 2nd star, guys. I want to give some love to Grady. Grady is building in a confident way right now. Like I just kind of mentioned a little bit about him and Jacoby. You start scrapping after loose balls. You get some turnovers. You get some rundowns. You get some layups. And then all of a sudden your 3 is looking a little bit better, Grady. 15 minutes, 15 points. That's what we want, Grady. That's what we want. You could get a point for each minute that you play on the court. You're doing your job. 15 points in 15 minutes. 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. Really love seeing those threes go in. It's like when a Grady Dick 3 goes in now, it's like time for celebration for Raptors fans. Seriously, because it's been like that. And, you hear Alvin and announcers say, "Oh, Grady needed this one." And Jamal said that too after the game in his interview, saying, "Man, great! I'm so proud of Grady. He really needed this game." Yeah, he did. He did need it. That's for sure. Yeah, 5 of 6 to the free throw line for Grady. Also, not bad. I'd like you to be like a 95% free throw shooter, Grady. I don't think that's unreasonable with your pedigree of shooting style and who you are. 1 rebound, 1 steal, a -10 for Grady. Yeah, Grady, you contributed to the win. You were one of the 7 guys who got double digits. You hit threes. You got layups in transition. You did good stuff. You got after it. That's the thing that it starts with, Grady. You and Jacoby getting after it. And everything blossoms out of that as far as good things for you guys. That's what happens right there. You got to get inside. You got to get after it. My third star of the game is Ochai Agbaji. Yeah, I'm not going to be picking the guys you think for the stars. There are a couple guys I could have picked, but I did not. Agbaji was carrying early. Once again, he's a new waking up of Ochai recently, where he's absolutely doing more on offense for us all of a sudden. And the thing that Agbaji did that nobody else was doing at the beginning of the game, and the reason why we needed him and why he's a star, my third star, is that he was going inside. Everybody else was settling for threes in the first half, and it was pissing me off. These Raptors are being lazy, just taking threes and shooting threes. And, well, how did the Magic build a lead on us? They were going inside. Meanwhile, we're settling for threes. And when you're not that great of a three-point shooting team, when you're not shooting good threes right then, why the hell would you do this? The NBA protocols of favoring the three over a layup is so mystifying to me. And both teams did this last night. Magic did it. Raptors did it too. You could take 5 threes, brick all of them. And meanwhile, you could have been inside scoring like 10, 15 points on twos, just going in there and just laying it up. Like, what are you doing, Raptors? When you settle for the threes so much. And as soon as you started giving the ball to people like Scotty down low, the game started turning and good things started to happen. I hate how much we work from the outside. And in fact, I think Alvin said this about Steph Curry on Sunday, that Steph Curry, when he starts his workout before the game, he starts right at the basket, putting the ball in right at the basket, and he moves out each time with the shots all the way out to half court. He doesn't start at half court trying to shoot half court shots. No, he starts near the basket. He gets his range. He gets his bearing on the basket, and he builds out from it. This is the way every NBA team that's been successful in the history of the basketball league has started from the inside, built out to the threes, not coming in cold, shooting threes at the beginning and starting it that way. You get off to a bad start and you will get yourself in a 10-point deficit like that if you do this every game. Even the best teams that shoot threes, they got to establish a paint presence or a paint touch first. And listen, I've seen the Raptors open games recently where they get a three to start the game, but you know how that three was successful? They got the ball to go into the paint first. They threw it inside to Scott. Scott got it in the paint. The defense collapsed. He threw it out, and a guy was open for three, and he made it that time. But if you're not even going to try and get a paint touch before you start the game, you're just going to start launching threes. You're going to be a recipe for disaster and losing. So start going inside first. And that's why I love Ochai Agbaji, because he crashed the boards on those losses and made them go back in and get in the points that way. At least somebody was getting 2-pointers and not just trying to shoot threes all day. You know, Agbaji, 20 minutes, 10 points, 4 of 8 from the field, missed his only 3, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 turnovers, a +7. Yeah, Agbaji was key early. And he's been very key at the beginning of games recently for the Raptors. So, man, I love that he's starting to show, once again, the form and some of the stuff he was built up last year as a starter. That now he's been starting consistently a little bit more in RJ's absence. He's been able to show that he still has that level that he was at last year, because he was a very good player for us last year on the down low, and people don't recognize it as much as they should. My 4th star of the game is Sandro. Sandro got the start, and Sandro was fine. 23 minutes, 13 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3, 3 of 3 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 0 turnovers, 1 steal, 1 block. Sandro's just everywhere. Sandro's working. Sandro's energy. Sandro's getting after it. Sandro's a great teammate. Sandro's giving the pressure on defense, and he's working hard. And in some ways, I appreciate the addition of Sandro Mamukelashvili to the Raptors this year. In some ways, he is that weird pick from out of nowhere or pickup for Bobby that is just really paying off and nobody really saw coming. Like in the summer when we got Sandro, some people slept on that signing. I knew it was going to be really good for us right away. I was like, guys, you guys don't understand how much Sandro is going to do for our team. Some people just weren't familiar with his game. Some people just weren't familiar with why he was a fan favorite in Milwaukee and San Antonio before. And well, they finding out now. And man, this has been such a huge pickup for us. Mamu, such a huge pickup for us this year. My 5th and final star of the game is Brandon Ingram. Brandon didn't show up in the first half, but he showed up in the second half, and he hit some very crucial key buckets late for us just to help us carry. 17 points for Ingram in 34 minutes, 7 of 22. Not the best shooting. He missed all of his threes. That's what I was saying, man. The threes aren't happening. Y'all go inside. Seriously. 3 of 4 at the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and a big, huge block late in the game by Brandon, plus 8 for Notorious BI3. Yeah. He once again, he's fun to watch, and he does instill a confidence in our team that we can win when we have that kind of offensive weapon at our disposal to help us carry in very high pressure situations where a tough basket is tough to make. Well, we've got Brandon Ingram, and he is that kind of guy that can go get a tough basket in high pressure situations. I love it. Yeah. I didn't put Colin on here because of missing the free throws, and I didn't and an honorable mention to Jacoby also. In some ways, Jacoby didn't shoot as well as he could have. I give an honorable mention to both those guys, but they're not in my stars. Going down the rest of the list, honorable mention to Scotty too. He got a double-double. He got started too late. In some ways, it's like as soon as Scotty started going inside, good things started happening for the Raptors. And I'm like, yeah, you see Paulo going inside, Scotty. You see Banchero going in and getting dominant big plays in the lane. Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? You see Paulo doing it. Why don't you do it? And he did. He started figuring it out and started doing it more in the second half. 13 points on 5 of 12 shooting for Scott, 1 of 2 at the 3. He took that 1 3. They dared him. He's not really looking to take his threes right now. In some ways, it's like they left them open, and then he's that open. He might as well take it. And he hit it, which was nice. 2 of 2 at the free throw line. He hit his clutch free throws, Colin. He hit his clutch free throws. 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, a block, a -3 for Scotty Barnes. Solid play. It's just in some ways, I wish he'd figure out to go inside sooner in the game and establish that right off the bat, Scott. Because seriously, think about this, Scotty. You go inside and you dominate in the post with a real early post move, you're going to open everything up for the whole 48 minutes for the rest of the Raptors shooting wise, because they'll have to respect you doing that to them. And it's going to make so much room and space for Grady and Jacoby and Quickly and all them to make threes. So just start inside, Scott. Come on, stop being stubborn, Raptors, and go inside early, establish that paint presence so that the 3-point shooting can be a better percentage overall throughout the game. Because if you don't set that up early, well, you can just brick all game like you did last night. Just go ahead and brick all game. Seriously. Emmanuel, we already went over his box score. Jamison Battle got in late for 4 minutes. He took the Mobamba minutes in the second half. Mobamba did not get in the second half, and Jamison got in instead. He came out and hit 1 shot. It was a putback layup off an offensive rebound, which was awesome. And that's about it. Jamison, that was a great contribution. You helped us win. I mean, we only won by 1, and we needed that basket, Jamison. So good job. Colin Murray-Boyle is frustrating to me. This is why he's not one of my stars. He was 1 for 6, so he's missing a lot. And then the free throws really pissed me off. Like I said, I already talked about him. 1 for 4 at the free throw line, all clutch free throw shots. 4 points for Colin in 25 minutes, but he did have 12 rebounds, including 5 offensive rebounds. So, that's a great thing. And he had 2 blocks too. 2 assists, 2 turnovers, a +18 also. So he was very much a part of the winning. So honorable mention to Colin Murray-Boyles. It's just, man, you got to tighten up and make those free throws, my guy. You got to do better. And like Alvin said, bend your knees. Bend your knees. Don't just flat push it like that. You need to come up with the energy from the bottom of your feet and bring it all the way through. That's how you make free throws. That's how you do it right there. Jacoby Walter, 24 minutes, 10 points, 2 of 6, 1 of 4 from 3, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 0 turnovers, 2 steals, and a -3. Yeah, he was fine. He was fine. He was a defensive leader, and I'll give him an honorable mention for that. On the other side, let me just give a couple of shine to a couple guys. Anthony Black, as I said, phenomenal. 27 points in 32 minutes, 9 of 19 shooting. Really, really powerful player there. And then Apollo, 9 of 19, 10 rebounds, 15 rebounds and 10 assists. He got a triple-double in the game last night. And then Desmond Bain, Darko's favorite, 18 points on 6 of 18 shooting. Yeah, he could have gone off even more, but he didn't. Yeah, I don't know about this team. We did get to see Sandro versus Goga for a little bit, the big Georgian matchup, which is kind of fun in itself. Of course, Anthony Black and Grady Dick being on the same court always brings back a callback to a jersey swap. And yeah, there's lots of different fun stuff on the court and different places with all that. Yeah, Trevor's saying Denver Nuggets suspended their players for hurting Jokic last night. What? Suspended their players for hurting Jokic? They suspended their players? How did that? I don't understand that. Black Mama's saying CMB 12, baby. There you go. Yeah, very powerful. Very, very powerful stuff. We saw Angel and Julian Reese at Drake's Seats last night. It was interesting. They did the red carpet welcome, and they flashed Julian Reese's face on there. I'm like, wait, that's a 905 player. Y'all are giving the red carpet welcome to 905 players? Oh, no, it's for Angel Reese at the game and courtside. And she was rooting for Orlando, guys. You know that, right? She wasn't rooting for the Raptors last night. She roots for the Raptors 905, but she didn't root for the Toronto Raptors. And part of the reason why she was courtside at the game last night is her boyfriend is the starting center for the Orlando Magic. That's Wendell Carter Jr. So she was there to root for Wendell. Just so y'all know, Angel, yeah, that's her man. She's with Wendell. And so she's there with her brother watching the game. He's sitting with her in Drake's seat. And, she's watching her man. And I also noticed that AJ Hogarth was at the game, sitting at the baseline, watching the game. Raptors 905 players. So there's a lot of 905 players at the game last night watching it, whether they were in a Raptors uniform on the bench, Elijah Martin and AJ Lawson, or in street clothes, Chucky Hepburn, or just sitting on the baseline, AJ Hogarth, or with their WNBA sister all-star in Drake's seats, Julian Reese. They were all out there. They were around there. Yeah. Kaloy's here. Good to see Kaloy. Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to Santino. 20 win alert. Comeback kids. There you go. Guys, we've won 20 games before New Year's. That's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. We didn't win 20 games until like March or February last year. So this is huge. This is a big upgrade and a big much better team all of a sudden this year, getting to 20 wins before New Year's Eve. And you know what? God willing, we'll have 21 before the clock strikes 12 tomorrow night. God willing, we'll have 21, and we'll have that 7-7 record in December that I wanted originally, because I knew it was going to be a tough month. And we went the hard way because we lost to teams like Brooklyn and Charlotte and Washington. But we came around and then beat teams like the Warriors, the Magic, and some of the tougher teams in the December schedule. Hopefully the Nuggets will be added to that tomorrow night. That's right. Yeah. Comeback kids. I love it. Kareem saying Colin Murray Boyles 3 stars, a.k.a. combo, and Jacoby 2 stars, and Jamal Shead 1. Also, Dick was huge in the first half. Yeah, the bench really carried our team when the starters were faltering. And once again, we felt the absence of RJ. There's all these periods in the game where the Raptors stagnate and they can't score. It's like we go through these periods where it's like nobody's scoring. And sometimes that's when Brandon's out. Usually when Brandon's in the game, we've got a pretty steady scoring stream. But there are times where we just don't score for a while. And that's usually when RJ would fill in his 2 cents and get some points and make things happen. In some ways, he's very cognizant and aware of this. In the interviews I've heard with him, talking about, what he gives to the team, what he cares about giving the team is energy, points when they need them, and connection and communication. And he definitely adds that kind of stuff when he's out on the court. Of course, he's on a back-to-back. They're going to rest him. He just came back. That makes sense. And, well, we needed him more for the Warriors. And well, we still were able to pull off a 1-point victory over the Magic, even without RJ. But you see just how much RJ is valuable to this team. And I would also argue, like, Scotty is very untouchable and a franchise player on our team, but we need to start considering RJ like this too. That in some way, and also the thing about it is that they fit. If there's any argument, oh, you can't have RJ and Scotty on the same team, that's bullshit. Because we see just how much RJ makes Scotty better. And, Scotty makes everybody better. So it's like, no, we need to value Rowan Barrett Jr., and he needs to stay in a Raptors jersey for a long, long time, Bobby Webster, because it's been revealed just how crucial and important and valuable to our team he is in his absence. In some ways, it's like he's never been out this long before. He said that's been frustrating. It's like he's not missed this many games ever until this time, these 5 weeks. And he didn't like it. He was really chomping at the bit to get back out there. And we got to understand and respect just how valuable and important RJ is for the Raptors to be their best version. And you know what? He should be invested in long term as a hometown hero, because like I said, in some ways we're finding that he's quality control. That, when RJ's on the court, there's a certain level of get after it that is just happening. And well, when he's been out, we've seen stretches of games where we wondered whether these guys were even trying. So there's a lot that he adds, and not just in his offensive punch and what he does, but also in communication, leadership, and quality control. That's how I start calling RJ quality control, because the quality will slip when he's not in the lineup. And we'll see the guys not play as tight and make more mistakes and maybe not communicate as much. And the other thing is, I really do feel like RJ is an underrated defender this year. In some ways, he helps our post defense, our paint defense. Even when Jakob is out, RJ in some ways is sacrificing his body and getting in between people in the basket. And he has helped stop easy baskets when he's been available. And when he's not, we see how much more wide open the lane is for people to come down low. I'm just saying, he's been one of those guys that's kind of gotten in the way. I'm just saying. Kaloy's saying this is why I love you, Lex. Other podcasters are lambasting IQ. Yeah, what's the point? What's the point? This man is going to have his ups and downs. And why? We won. We got 1 point win. We should be celebrating. We should be proud. We should be positive. We should be building off of the good vibes instead of creating more bad vibes just because you feel like feeling important because you can put down a millionaire that plays basketball for a living. Ooh, you feel so important, put down IQ, people. Yeah, I mean, go listen to my song on Christmas Day. Oh, call Emmanuel, and you will see his talent is real. That's right. You're going to see his talent is real, and his contract is worth it more and more. I thought he earned his contract on Sunday, didn't he? In that Golden State game, hitting some big major shots to help the Raptors get to overtime. Yeah, you don't get there without IQ. Hitting major shots in the fourth, 3-pointers, big time, huge clutch 3-pointers. Like, how short is your memory, you jabronis, on other channels and other places? Yeah, it's not going to be every night. Everybody's going to get everything and all every night. No. Different nights, you're a team. You have different guys step on different nights, and some guys just have bad nights. That's just how it is. That's basketball. Hello, casuals, you idiots. Yeah, go ahead and dump on him. I see people on Reddit, Raptors Reddit. Let's go look at Raptors Reddit real quick, because let's see what they're talking about real quick. First of all, they've got Darko benched Emmanuel in the clutch, and they're celebrating. Woo, woo. And now some people are saying that they need to switch the starting lineup, Shead for Quickly. No, and no, because honestly, what is happening with what we're doing is working. Shead has been the bench mob leader, and Quickly in some ways is a premium scorer kind of guy that when he's on, he's absolutely a weapon to have. If he's not on, well, it's nice to have the backup in Shead. In some ways, this is the way it can work out in some ways. The quick Shead lineup has been very good. It's been a weapon wielded by Darko in games in the last few months where he plays Jamal with Quickly, and they are a badass backcourt with a lot of playmaking skill and a lot of being able to play off each other, and either one can be the combo guard, the point guard, or the shooting guard in that situation. It's very Lowry and Van Vliet from before. And I think that, you know, to have that kind of a weapon, you need to have IQ. You need to be like, this guy's a great player and we love him and we want this kind of synergy between Jamal and Emmanuel. So I don't get it, man. I think that these people just need somebody to dump on, to look down on. It's kind of like racists. Racists need to pick other people that are not like them to feel better about themselves because they're such shitty people themselves. They're hollow people. The only way they feel better is by pushing people down. So this is the same kind of behavior by Raptors Nation people. I got to push IQ down. So I feel better somehow because I can talk down an NBA player that makes millions of dollars. And I feel powerful for that. Like, why? Why do you do this? Like, what is the whole point in this? And why is it so sad that you need to do this to feel better about yourself? Like, seriously, that's what I would question right there. Because in some ways that energy is a lot of like racist energy. It's just like, oh, I need other people to push down so I can help myself feel better inside because I'm such a shallow, hollow, sad weakling of a person that I have to compare myself to other people. And oh my gosh, I'm just going to have to make a whole bunch of people below me. You know, it's the same kind of energy. Honestly, people coming at Emmanuel today. Why? Why are you coming at him? Just because he had a bad game last night? Who cares? We won. That's what matters right there. That's what matters. That's right. Seymour saying, yo, bun the Instagram stories, fam. We have all Instas left or out. You don't want to watch it? You know, yes, you guys are saying, let me see. Should I continue the segment Instagram stories? Yes. 60% of y'all are saying yes right now. So that's good. I you know, part of it is I've logged out on my Instagram and I'm like, do I ever need to log into it ever again? It's like, I'm debating whether I'm going to ever log back into Facebook too. I'm like, I'm really seriously thinking about leaving it behind for 2026. That's part of why. It's like, I just don't want to use Meta ever again. And I've logged out of them and I'm like, do I have to log back in? Do I really have to log back in? Black Mama's got the peace out. I love it. Cream saying not going to dump on IQ, but he got pulled not because his bad shooting. It was because of his defense. Desmond Bane had 18 points in the first half. It's not a coincidence that he had 0 in the second. I mean, either way, it doesn't matter. I look at it as like, look, we've got 18 guys on this team. Whoever's playing the best, it should be the 5 they're playing at the end of the game. And I don't care if they started or not. That's really what the best basketball teams in the world do is like, look, go with the hot hand. Go with the guys that's working. You know, there's been criticism of Darko that he's found the right combination of players in certain games in some of the games that we lost this year. And he went away from them late and played people that he like the starters instead. And we lost. And people extrapolate that they think, oh, if we kept this lineup that worked in the third quarter that brought us back in the game, why didn't we play them late in the game to close it out to win? And in some ways, that's what he did last night. In some ways, he was building confidence in players like Jamal and Jacoby, saying this like, look, this is the end of the game. Go get it. And Jacoby had that energy like he really wanted to beat the Magic again. Just like his game winner last year, remember? Remember when Jacoby Walter hit the game-winning shot against the Magic and beat them in a game-winning shot? Well, he had that same kind of energy, like he really wanted to beat the Magic bad yesterday. And that was part of his frantic defense in the fourth quarter, just being everywhere and just being a shit disturber in general. So, yeah, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. The guys are going to have ups and downs in the world. You know what I'm saying? Ups and downs. That's right. Seymour saying bomba clot. Looked out of place. Hope he fits in the system. Bomba clot. Oh, you calling him a bomba clot? Man, don't do that. We don't need no more fitness to play around here. Come on now. I know that's vernacular for maybe a vernacular saying, but I'm just saying, don't put that together, man. We already have enough problems with centers going on fitness to play panel. So there will be no Mobamba clot. No. I'm banning that combination of two words together. We can't do this. We just got a center. Don't do this to me. Come on now. Fiercely say this. Good morning, fam, and happy Tuesday. Good morning to you, MJ. Hope you're doing great, and happy New Year to you and Fiercely Jr. That's right. www. That is my web address. Is www. Making W's. That's right. www. All right. See, Fiercely saying this. Magic fans complaining about Mosley's coaching, and apparently they have an issue closing out games. Interesting. But their problem, I focus on the Raptors. Well, it's no coincidence that these 2 games that we just won were against 2 teams that are going to cough it up and allow you to get back in the game. They don't have a certain focus like we did in the last 2 games to really close it out and win. In some ways, they're not taking it as seriously, or maybe don't have their shit together as well, that they can get organized and communicate and play to a level that's higher and when it really matters. In some ways, this is a strength that the Raptors are showing as a young core that is very special and very, very good, because we're showing winning ways with winning kind of players like Brandon, Scotty, and Jamal. So this is important. I like that Matt Devlin went over this last night, that there's only 3 young cores that have winning records in the league right now. And the Thunder are one of them. The Magic are one of them. And we are the other one. But, the Thunder have got a championship. They're bona fide. They got the MVP. They got SGA. They're proving it. In some ways, which one between the Magic and the Raptors are more close to the Thunder? Well, we are, because we proved that we have a winning ways like I just described. And, well, I can see why Magic fans would be a little confused or upset with their coach, because it seems like, yeah, you just choked. You just choked the game. You had the game, and this has been a pattern that we've been seeing this season for Orlando. Yeah, that doesn't instill confidence. In some ways, this is something that we need from our coach, is an confidence from our fans and our players, that the coach is going to coach the game at the end and help determine it to get us the victory. And in some ways, Darko's getting good faith and good points from the last 2 games. Meanwhile, coaches like Steve Kerr and Jamal Mosley are getting a lot of criticism from their fan bases. So that's just how it goes. It's why winning is easier in some ways, because it's easier to deal with afterwards. It's not easier to do. It's hard to get there, but it's so much easier after the result. That's for sure. Yeah, no, there's been murmurs about Jamal Mosley for a couple years now that he may be in trouble. And I get the vibes that he is. I really do. I feel like in some ways he doesn't have as strong control over his players as he would have liked. And it's frustrating him. That, that's part of like coaching young cores, is when you have young players like that, they are hard to kind of corral and get to all see the same vision and get on the same page. That's why I got to give a lot of credit to Darko, that he's consistently, since he's been the Raptors coach, have his team all on the same page and bought in and doing things in the right way as a group. But that's not always the case. You can look at the Wizards last Friday. You can look at the Magic, and there's, you got a lot of young players, and it's tough for the coach to command respect and get them all organized and really bought in, especially to do things like what we do on the defensive end with the energy we expend. There has to be a real bought in and a really like, I trust my coach. I love my coach. I'm doing whatever for my coach. And Darko has that. Do you think Jamal Mosley has that with his players? That's a difference right there. That's a difference right there. That's right. Kareem, listen, we're not going to use that nickname. All right. I'm going to ban it. Okay. Okay. We're 1-0 since we got Mo Bamba. That is true. I'm not going to use that nickname, guys. That's a horrible nickname. Let's just put it that way. It's a very horrible nickname. Did you guys know, just talking about the Fitness to Play panel, it came about partly because of our Raptors franchise player, Chris Bosh. The Chris Bosh, when he got in the blood clot situation near the end of his career, that's when they came up with this panel. That's right around when they came out with it. And I was really doing some research on it since it's Shamshay's birthday today. Happy birthday, Ulrich, who's turned to today. I believe Ulrich is 20 years old today, guys. He's just 20, 20 years old today. That the majority of the players that have gone on the Fitness to Play panel have been able to stay on their teams. Yeah. Keontae Johnson of the Utah Jazz was on the Fitness to Play panel. Where did he go? Did he leave the Jazz? I don't know. He stayed on the team. Wembanyama, Thompson twin, Jared Butler, all these different guys, they got put on the Fitness to Play panel, but they didn't. They came back. Like, why is this happening to us? Is it just really that he's just like that bottom of the roster, that it's not worth it to hold the spot for him? And that's the whole reason difference is like Koloko and Shamshay just weren't worth keeping. We waived them, and they just go out into the wild. Then got an argument with somebody on 905 chat about Shamshay's status, And this guy's supposed to be a Raptors fan. He's arguing. He's like, yeah, he's a free agent. He can go wherever he wants after he comes back. I'm like, motherfucker, if you're a Raptors fan, you're hoping he's coming to see us first. And he's coming right back to sign with us. Because this whole thing with Ulrich Shamshay is so fishy, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Well, Ulrich, Mo Bamba's got your spot now. And I know you're friends with Mo Bamba, actually. Ulrich was happy about the signing for Mo Bamba because they're friends. And, well, it's kind of got to feel weird that he's in your spot. He's in your spot. You know that, Ulrich. Happy birthday, by the way. Happy 20th birthday. Yeah, it's crazy. Fiercely saying, had Banchero hit that last shot, you would hear a chance of him, Scotty. But nah, Scotty Clamp. I mean, that was a dumb shot. They could have made a way better play than that, honestly. If I was a Magic fan, that's maybe where I would start with being pissed off, is that you guys had it on a silver platter for you to get the win. The margin was only 1 point. You get a 2 to go ahead and win the game right at the buzzer. You had enough time. 6 seconds is crazy. It's an eternity. In some ways, it's like, holy crap, this is ripe for them to win. When we saw the setup for the last possession, I was like, man, this is so set up for a big, huge buzzer beater Orlando win right here. But alas, they did some crazy outside shot with Paulo, which was not a good shot. It was not a good shot. And thank God he missed it. Because honestly, the Magic could have made that shot and the game would have been a win for them. And it would have been a totally different feel after that, for sure, obviously. Kaloy saying, it's like Mo was born to be a Raptor. Well, we've talked about him for a long, long time. I remember Monique and I, before I even started this channel, talking about Mo Bamba in Facebook group and Facebook messages. We just recognized him around when we were doing the Vision 6-9 as a Vision 6-9 kind of player to be added to the mix with OG and Pascal and all these guys, that he just fit really nice. And I know Nick valued him too. And they've been watching Mo Bamba for years. The Raptors have been watching him for years. Nick got his first chance with him in Philadelphia, obviously, a couple years ago, and got to coach him in there because he really did want to coach him at some point. I knew Nick Nurse really liked Mo Bamba. And it didn't happen with the Raptors, but he did get him on the Sixers. But now he's here on the Raptors and after Nick Nurse. And it's like Bobby Webster finally got him. In some ways, it's like it's a really weird kind of situation where the timing had to be right in the right ways for the Raptors to acquire him. Maybe we didn't want to spend too much crazy because he may be a little flaky. And in some ways, Mo Bamba had to go down his NBA path to get to this point where it's like you don't have many chances. And now the Raptors are kind of in this situation and saying, you know what, you want another chance? Here, we'll give you the chance. But in some ways, it's better on our terms at this point, because in some ways, Mo Bamba is not going to get many more chances around this league. And, if we had tried to go get him a couple of years ago, would that have had to involve trade with like going to send assets somewhere else to get him in a Raptors uniform? And would that have been a good decision? It could have been a fail because, in some ways he's failed at other places and let other teams down. So it's like, I like this. In some ways, Bobby kind of, and Masai before him, we're kind of like the immovable object. We're not in a rush. If Bamba's going to be in a Raptors jersey, it'll naturally occur at some point in the right way, in the right timing. We could have rushed out and like overpaid for him in a trade just to get him to be a flub and messed up. No, we're calm, cool, and collected. We're just running our team like the way Masai and Bobby have ran it for over 10 years. And, Mo Bamba just comes to us and boom, he's on our team for barely anything. So that's that. In some ways, that's pretty smart kind of GMing. In some ways, some people would say, whoa, Lex, that's interesting how you put that. It was like, yeah, it's like, it's a law of attraction. It's kind of like a abundance mindset. It's like, in some ways, it's like, look, we don't want to overspend for Mo Bamba like 4 years ago, trade the farm, trade some good players to get him. And then he busts out. No, let him kind of find his way through the league. And when he's at this point where it's like, oh man, I want to really make the league, and he's desperate, then you bring him in. And that's what we've done now. Does that make sense? Does that make sense what I'm saying right there? Fiercely saying Wendell Carter only 6 rebounds, not very efficient as a big, playing 32 minutes. Banchero had 15. Yeah, you want me to go look at Wendell Carter just for the heck of it? We'll go look at Wendell, 32 minutes, 9 points, 4 of 10 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 1 block, a +4, and he fouled out. Yeah, he got fouled out and he sat on the bench and everybody's patting him on the back. Good job, Wendell. Good job. He's annoying. I don't like Wendell Carter Jr. I feel like he's a dirty player. He's kind of like a goon. He's not a very skilled player. He's kind of an annoying guy. I'm like, hey, Angel, maybe there's a Raptor that you find more attractive. AJ Lawson's a cute guy. I'm trying to hook her up with a Raptor and not a Magic player. I'm like, I know a lot of the Raptors have women, so there's like they're probably not interested in Angel Reese, but who knows? I mean, anyway, that's stupid. What are you talking about that for? All right, let's see. Seymour was on the phone. That's right, Fiercey. You got to hear the sheriff on the call today. Kaloy saying, I like what I saw with Big Mo in his limited minutes. It's just a scratch in the surface, just a little debut premiere. It's nice to see him come to the team right away. He flew to the team on Sunday immediately. It was kind of something that it was in the works for 48 hours before. So Bobby had been working that phone call probably right around and say, Bobby, don't waste any time. Just go do this. We were saying this on the chat, and he was out there doing it, and he got it to happen, and he got Mo Bamba on the Raptors. So honestly, Raptors fans, come on, man. Let's trust in Bobby. Let's give him kudos that he does things on his schedule, on his time, not the league's time, not the fans' time, on his own time. And in some ways, it's never rushed or desperate, the moves of the front office of the Raptors, because that's when you make mistakes. Ask the Knicks. So, yeah, you got to be very thorough and thoughtful, and you don't want to be desperate. You don't want to be in a lurch where you're like, I have to do this. You want to be very flexible positions where you can move laterally or forward on things that you want to all of a sudden because you have that freedom. And that's what we're talking about right here. That's what we're talking about. HC's here, the undefeated. A great week once again for the undefeated. We're starting our next week, and get your lineup set up. I see that HC this week is playing Gerald, and he's got an early lead after one night of action. HC saying this right now, Mo needs to really, Mo looked hella lost and was definitely surprised by the speed of our boys. Our fitness level is wild for a new player. He has a week to get the knowledge and the cardio. Yeah, that's the thing, man. He's got to really, I like he was engaged. All right. First of all, I noticed that he was sitting near the front of the bench up near Garrett, and that's good. He needs to be sitting up there closer to the coaches and closer to the court and among the leaders of the team that he can hear what they're saying and what matters. Also, he was very engaged. He was very much attentive. He wasn't aloof. He wasn't sitting there goofing around. He was very much engaged and watching everything and soaking it all up. And these are the kind of things we need from him because he doesn't have a lot of time. It's exactly right. HC saying this guy's got to figure out a lot and do a lot and try and fit in quickly. And not only that, he has to make an impression over this period of time also, because he could go out there and just run cardio and we'll be like, yeah, he's a waste of time. He's not adding anything that we need. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and cut him before the 10th. So it's a combination of learning it all, integrating himself with them, and also he needs to do some stuff that makes an impression. Whether it's like multiple blocks, whether it's amazing paint protection, whether it's a ton of rebounds. I mean, I don't even care about the offense. The offensive stuff, if he hits threes, if he starts jacking up a whole bunch of threes and missing them, he's done. He's cooked. Don't do that, Mo Bamba, because in some ways we got enough guys that can jack up threes and break them. Trust me. So don't even, I mean, if you have an open three and Darko's told you can shoot it, go ahead. But otherwise, I would say just worry about the big man stuff because that's what we need. And I know that they made it very clear to you what they need you to do. So just stick to the script. Don't go off the script because that'll get you a quick way out of here. Trust me, that'll get you a quick way out of here. That's right. Seymour in the house. That's right. Mo needs to really work on just putting his damn hands up in the air and stop swiping. Going to be a liability. Seems reckless, but I'm sure Darko will put him in his place. Let's see if he listens. Yeah, he's been foul prone in the past in his career. That's been part of his limitations. You hear Darko yelling in every game, Eagles, Eagles. he's yelling at the Raptors to put their hands up on defense more because there are a lot of times where they're kind of playing with their arms down where they should have their hands up. So you may hear Darko yelling Eagles sometimes during the game. I've been hearing that a lot recently myself. Reggie's saying this. Good to see you, Smooth Brown, man. Looks like Nikola Jokic avoided serious damage to his knee. Early reports say it's a hyperextension. Well, I would say this, in the timing of the season, some of it's luck. We may just happen to hit Denver's visit to Toronto with no Nikola. I think it's very clear he's not going to play tomorrow night. After what happened, just for precaution, they're going to hold him out against us, even if the damage is not that long sustaining. That's good. In some ways, that's good for the NBA as a whole. That's good for the Nuggets for sure, if Nikola Jokic is not out for a long period of time. So, but if he's going to be out and he's going to miss a game, well, he's going to miss the next game, and the next game is against the Raptors. So in some ways, that's just lucky timing to the Raptors at this time of the season. That's just how the NBA is. Sometimes it is when you catch people. And we were unlucky when we cut the Wizards, when we caught them on that hot spot there. And then, they won their next game after that. That's the thing. We lose to the Nets. We lose to the Wizards. They go and they win the next game against the next team. Okay, they're a good team. It's not just that they're a bad team and they beat us and we look bad. No, they're a bad team that's getting better and they're showing improvement by getting some wins. So, we got to look at this with the whole perspective and not just have the old edition. This is the Washington Wizards. We should never lose to them. We should never, ever lose to them. Kareem's saying this. Bamba worked out with a lot of Raptors players over the summer, so he's familiar with his new teammates he played against quickly in the 7th grade. Yeah. There's a lot of connections. I mean, this is the way prep basketball is these days, especially if you're around the same age group. Have you gone to Montverde? If you've done any like this kind of stuff, you're going to get to know different people in different ways. I was joking last night that Scotty can glean his knowledge and probably IQ and other guys that play the 2K2, like Jamal Shead. They could probably glean their knowledge of how to play with Mo Bamba by playing him on 2K. And the way that he's set up as a character on that game, maybe that can help inform Scotty how to be his teammate in real life. Scotty, just use all the training you had playing with Mo Bamba on your 2K team at some point. Because I know he's had Mo Bamba on his teams from the old Twitch days, 2022, Scotty Barnes, Twitch family. We watched him play 2K for hours. And I'm pretty sure I saw him playing with Mo Bamba on his squad in one time. So in some ways, I don't know if that's usable knowledge, video game knowledge from playing the simulation of Mo Bamba that can teach you how to play with him as a teammate. I don't know. Like Scotty can remember, oh yeah, his tendencies are this, and like this is a good spot for him to shoot and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe he does that. Maybe he does that. He uses that knowledge. Maybe. Kareem's saying this. When RJ Barrett was in college, he stayed at Mo's house in Orlando. Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's known Barnes for a while, too. That's Josh Lewinberg. Yeah, Josh Lewinberg on Blue Skies saying that stuff. Yeah, so at least he's not a complete stranger, and these guys can actually talk to each other and know each other from before. So, yeah, that's pretty good. All right, let me see. I'm going to get back in the chat. Wow, you guys filled it up, man. You filled it up. All right, where am I in the chat? I want to make sure I get all the comments. I didn't do them all yesterday. I apologize. It was just a really weird time. And, because of the delay with the stream because of the internet being out. Reggie's saying Mo has a big opportunity in front of him. Hopefully he can take advantage of the situation. Yes, there may not be many more chances after this. All I would like him to be is 10 and 8 with 1 or 2 blocks per game, not asking a lot relative to NBA 5 standards. I don't even want that from him. He doesn't have to average 10 points a game. Nah. He could average 6 rebounds and 2 blocks off the bench, and that is fine. That's fine right there. I don't care what he scores. He could get 0 every game. I just want him to protect the paint and rebound and block shots. That's it. If he's getting scores because it's just happening, that's great. But it shouldn't be anything we're depending on. I'll say that. Kaloy's saying this. Grady's shot is good when it has good rotation. So what I am getting at is Grady needs to have a better shot preparation. Watching him with the mechanics this year, he has been more clunky. It's more straight shot. You're exactly right. When he has more ball rotation on the shot, it's a much better shot. The other thing I would say about Grady's shot, just from mechanics, is his arc is lower than it used to be. That's a weird thing. Like he gets these big muscles on his shoulders and his arms, and his shot gets so flat. It's like a straight shot instead of a high arcer. He used to shoot very high arc 3-pointers, but it's flattened out. And I feel like if he got back to the old stuff that him and Carmen worked on, which is putting some high arc and rotation on it, he would shoot better. Because in some ways he's clanking and he's shooting like these flat shots with no arc, and the rotation is very bad. You're right. On the ones when he's missing. And he's either getting short or he's bricking the back of the iron on those clanky shots. So he needs to get that ball lofted up more with a higher arc so it'll have a more of a downward trajectory to go through. Because he's shooting forward, it's going to hit forward, and it could even hit the front of the rim and bounce back like that. Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that about him. But, he's building his body, so his shot mechanics have changed, and he has to adjust. Yeah, Infamous in the house. Great to get the calls today. If you guys have the phone number, you can call in. G saying this, I went on hello and welcome after the game. Some fans, even after a comeback win, were so effing toxic to IQ. I appreciate you and the people in here for staying positive, level-headed, and criticizing in a reasonable, healthy manner. Yeah, no reason to come after IQ today. That just smacks of childish, immature, sad, pathetic people that just need an outlet to be negative. That's what it sounds like to me. And if those guys are ringleader in it, William Lou, shame on you. Shame on you, man. You shouldn't be a festering pool of toxic cesspool like you guys are festering there. You shouldn't do that. You should be like me, man. Be a bountiful place, a harvest of positive vibes and abundance. And no more of this bullshit. We won. That's what matters, motherfuckers. You go cry to mommy and all this stuff. Oh, man, you'll hurt my feelings because he played bad basketball last night. What are you? Shut up. Just enjoy your team. You're a fan. You're not Bobby Webster. You're not Dan Tolzman. You don't fucking run this team. So let the professionals do their jobs. And I feel like I've done this job enough here, being a podcaster and a fan podcaster for the Raptors. I'm a professional podcaster at this point. People have paid me money to do this. That is true. That's true. Let's see. G saying reasonable, healthy manner. That's right. Salute to you guys. Salute to the eye candy. Salute to Kaloy. That's right. G saying Mo was very happy after the game. I think he really wants to be here. Yeah. It's a great organization. Like, you feel it when you come here. There's different things about Toronto, even with the weather being like this right now. The vibe of the city is so energetic. Like, you come here and you feel like you're somewhere this is important. It's like New York. New York has a vibe and an energy to it, a multiculturalism. There's a feeling. And there's something really special about being a Toronto Raptor and playing for the city of Toronto, because there's an energy to it. And it's different than Orlando. It's different than Oklahoma City. It's different than most of the NBA teams around the league, Milwaukee. In some ways you can get caught up in that prestige and that feeling. I mean, it's Drake's team. In some ways, you come to Toronto, you might be going to Drake's mansion. You'll be going to Soto. You're going to be going to these spots. You're going to be seeing celebrities in Toronto, not as much as New York, but you will see them. So, there's a lot to it. It's a lot more better than being in Salt Lake City. I'll tell you that. It's a lot better than being in Salt Lake City. Let's go. Dunk it, G. Yeah, let's do that. Let's give G a dunk. I appreciate you for, checking out what other people are doing and coming back and telling us that you appreciate this channel because we got the positive vibes. 93 is the dunk chart for G at this point. You got not 93 dunks points for the year. You're close to 100 there. Let's see. Kaloy saying, imagine if we didn't pick Scotty in the 21 draft, the Magic would have picked him. Imagine Magic getting Scotty, Banchero, and Wagner. That would have been a mess. They wouldn't have had Franz, though. You got to think about it that way. Oh, wait, they could have, though, because they got Jalen Suggs with that pick. Yeah, either way, I'm glad that we went off script and knew that getting Scotty at that fourth pick was just the right thing at that moment in all kinds of ways, because they really did want to try and funnel Jalen Suggs to us instead of Scotty. There was a very, very strong PR campaign by sports media in the United States to try and make that happen. But Bobby and Masai did their job, and they knew what the right move was, even though Raptors fans thought they knew what they wanted. Once again, that's one of the best examples of people that don't know what they're fucking talking about, shouldn't be talking about it. When they said, oh, we should have drafted Suggs, and they were mad that we've got Barnes. That's so ridiculous. And that's an exact example of, like, you people don't know what you're fucking talking about. Mischief's here. Good to see the base man. My stars of the game are Shed, Barnes, Grady, Ingram. Has missed 14 3-pointers in a row in the last 2 games. He's got to take 50% less 3-pointers. I like that. I mean, I'm sure Brandon's aware that he's been missing threes. I don't think that that's the best part of his game. The mid-range is definitely the best part of his game, but, he's gonna have to take threes and make them. I think that the Raptors should stop taking threes in general, as a group less themselves altogether. Like Scotty has pivoted away from taking a lot of threes to working more inside. Certain guys should be taking the threes, sure, but not everybody. And I feel like we should lessen the amounts of threes. I mean, I don't care if the rest of the league's doing it. Like I said, you guys could brick 5 threes on 5 trips down the court. And if you had made like some 2-pointers instead, you'd have way more points added to your point total instead of looking real bad like it's 54-37 and there's like 5 minutes to go before halftime. Like, seriously, half of that shit just scoring 37 points like in the first half of the game almost is you guys just selling for threes and breaking them over and over again and not cluing in like, oh, look what Oshai's doing. He's boarding and he's putting them back and he's getting easy points. And 2-pointers are great. And the fact that the league's going so far away from 2-pointers and their protocol of thinking and how they do things is ridiculous to me. It used to be that like coaches would say, you know what, we don't need the 3. We can go and get 2 right now, and that'll be enough. They'd say that in clutch situations late in the game. It's like the opposite now. It's like in the middle of the game where you could just get meat and potato 2s. They're saying, no, ignore the 2s, just shoot 3s as much as possible. Doesn't make any sense to me. Because seriously, if you're not a good 3-point shooting team, you shouldn't be doing things this way. In some ways, I know in some ways you're like, oh, to keep up with the other teams, you got to do this, especially if you're playing the Celtics and the Celtics are going to shoot threes and going to make a ton of them. You got to do it. No, we can beat the Celtics by not shooting threes. We've done it in the past. I've seen us beat the Celtics. They shoot threes and we go into the paint and we just beat them up inside and we win. I've seen us do this in the last couple of years. So the over-reliance and the over-importance of the 3-point shot, especially on the Raptors with our makeup and how often we're making them, is really frustrating me right now because I can see all this food left on the table that's down in the paint for people like Scotty and Brandon and Colin that they should be emphasized on more and not so much like, oh, we're looking for threes over and over again. Just because the league is trending that way doesn't mean we have to follow the league. Let's go fuck it up like the old school way, the old way with the 2s. Let's go in there and get 2s. Because if you're not going to hit 3s for a whole stretch of the game, the 2s count and they will get more points and our point total up. Because it's like we stagnate because we shoot too many 3s, honestly. That's why we stagnate. Nameless saying, I thought of that last night too, Kaloy. You thought about that? Yeah, okay. We didn't pick Scotty. Yeah. Smooth saying all the teams Mo Bamba has been on at this point he's had to compete with other quality bigs. On this team, he's got a runway. Jakob not going to be back for a while. It's on Mo now. Yeah, the news came out yesterday. They updated that Yak is going to miss the next week. And, some of us were asking for this. They're like, if his back is messing with him, why try and fight through it and keep putting him out there? Let's give him an extended rest and really get it like right. So I guess they're doing that now. But yeah, he's going to be out for the next week. So there is a lot of maybe it coincides with Mo Bamba being on the team. I don't know. Maybe Jakob appears back and all of a sudden Mo Bamba's like, yeah, you know what? You weren't good enough. You're hasta la vista. Sorry, Mo Bamba. That's why he's got to do stuff now, man. He's got to do stuff now because he's on the clock. He's on the clock, definitely. And Nuggets, well, show us something against the Nuggets tomorrow night, Mo Bamba. That's right. Yeah. Thank the creator to the Raptors drafting prowess. Yeah. Thank you, creator. Thank you for everything. I say the creator created the trees, the animals, the plants, the insects, the soil, the humans. We are all part of the same system. And a lot of it is man-made, is not a part of it. And the people that are out there destroying the creations of God above that are trees, like clear cutting forests, taking away habitat for animals, insects, and birds to thrive. You are antichrist. You're anti-creator. You are against what God's will is. And I'm going to say this more and more because I feel like this is so true. The essence of what God is the life force in all of us. We feel God in everywhere. It's like Scott said, God is everywhere. I feel God everywhere. I see it in the tree out there waving in the wind right now. I see it in the little squirrel running around looking for a nut over there in the corner of the yard. That's where our connection comes from in an unspoken way, is on a whole energy level. that the energy in the tree, the energy in the soil, because there's microorganisms in the soil, the energy in a squirrel is the same energy that's life in us. And that is God and creation itself. And in some ways, if we're not respecting and treating God's creations and life energy on this planet correctly, we will kill it. And we will destroy ourselves in the process also. So I would really love more and more people to orient themselves, their faith, their ideas of what God is, to be very more organically natural. And that we share something that's called life with other things in this world, this life. And, there's been a very strong campaign by the media and society and consumerism to, not really give us the full picture of how animals, trees, and other organisms feel pain. This is real easy not to feel bad about eating chicken and cows when you don't think that they have families or feelings or personalities, because they do. They do. All animals are individuals and they are not the same. And in some ways, that's part of the big thing that we had to sell ourselves to be able to participate in the system that we're in, to degrade the life of other beings. I truly believe that these trees out here in my yard are very, very powerfully energetic with life, because they sustain and stay in one spot. And they have a wisdom that in some ways human beings need to get back in touch with. They very much can feel our energy in ways that we can't feel back. And they understand us better than we actually understand. There's a whole hidden world to life forms that we just don't look at because we're too busy with our own shit and being self-centered. But yeah, I'm telling you right now, this may be one of the biggest fights coming up in the new era. Are you on the side of the creator and creation of nature and life force and life? Or are you part of the death machine? The one that spits out the money and takes everything for profit, for short-term profit. And you're killing us as you're doing it. That's going to be one of the biggest fights coming up. Because I'll tell you right now, I look at it very plainly, simply this. If God created it, then it's part of God. And when you destroy parts of God, you're not right religiously. You're not right in the right place. If you're destroying environment for your own gain, for money, like clear cutting forests, or polluting waterways, or you extract things from nature for your own monetary gain, you are against God and you're antichrist, as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to draw the line right there. It doesn't have anything to do with, like, in some ways, the moralistic identity of you're going to hell if you're not a good person. No, it has very simple. You destroy what God created, then you're against God. And I'm basically going to say that you can't be a very wealthy corporate person that has degraded environment in underhanded ways through your company and go to church and say you're a good Christian. As far as I'm concerned, you can't, because if you're a good Christian, you don't destroy what God created. You respect it, you love it, and you protect it. Yeah, so there's my little soapbox. I'll get off of it now. I'll get off of it right now. Thank you to the creator for all you created. Everything I do is in your honor. I want to be a vessel and a weapon for you and the cause and the fight that I just described. And there's no ego in this. This is all for in service for you. All the glory to God. I say that right there. I say that right there. That's right. Daniel Franklin's in the house. Good to see Daniel Franklin. I don't think people are so upset about IQ, but more about the contract and how the Raptors always seem to overpay and how that's going to affect retaining players in the future. Okay, that's a lot of opinion right there. That's not necessarily fact, what you're saying. And I'll break it down. Yeah, I don't think people are so upset about IQ, but more about the contract. Okay, why are they upset about the contract? They're not paying it. And also, I've said this many times on the channel, that contract's going to look better and better as time goes on. First of all, he's going to look better because he's going to play to a level like he did on Sunday more often and add up to winning. He's going to hit big clutch shots. He's going to be a big time player for us. And you should believe in that as a fan. You'd want that, right? And also, you're going on to say the Raptors always seem to overpay. That's absolute horse crap, too. Who's saying that? Who do the Raptors overpay on? That's absolute horse shit. There's so many other players in this league that are way overpaid that don't even show up for games. I mean, you could talk about Bradley Beal. You could talk about Ben Simmons. You could talk about all these other players. We pay our players and they show up and they play for us. In some ways, that's what matters in the league. You can believe ESPN bullshit if you want, Daniel. You can say, oh, the Raptors always overpay for players. No, we pay for players to play for our team, and they show up and they play. There's other teams that are paying guys huge amounts of money, and they don't do jack shit for them. So it's like, all right, you want to characterize it that we always seem to overpay? I reject that bullshit. I say get that garbage out of here. Because that trope of you saying that is not true about the Raptors. We do not have a penchant for overpaying players. That's some horse crap that an ESPN writer wrote, and you bought hook, line, and sinker in some stupid ass way. And I'll say this also, Emmanuel's contract is not going to be determined whether he's worth it until we see more. You can say that now, maybe, and get away with it, but you won't be able to say this in about a year from now. And his contract's going to look perfectly fine. Once again, I'm going to remind people the money went up in this league because of Peacock and Amazon and the TV deals. And RQ's deal may look very, very, very good in the near future. And you see some of the contracts people get next summer. So I'll just say that. And retaining players in the future, well, this is another myth and a scare tactic that people use. We're going to be able to retain people in the future because the cap expands and there's more money in the league. And then you're able to, get other people. So I'm not worried about any of this. Bobby Webster's an expert. He's got it all locked up and figured out. And all these casuals that think they know our cap and think that we're overspending and stuff, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You can believe them if you want, Daniel. That's your right. But I don't. I think that what you said is some of it's actually just blatant lie. Is that the Raptors always seem to overpay for people? Give me a list. Tell me who the fuck have they been overpaying over these years? Who the fuck has been overpaid? You can't give me a list of like 5 guys that say, "Oh, this is a very much an overpay right here." Then you don't have anything to stand on with that. Seriously. Andrew Pollander's back. Good to see Andrew. Good to see you, man. Raps will make a move before the deadline. We need a center. That's funny. We got a center, Mo Bamba. That's funny, man. Yeah, I don't think that's true. I think we're going to try out Mo Bamba. We'll just have to see what Bobby does. If Mo Bamba works out and he stays on for the rest of the year, well, we got center depth. And that's all we wanted, right? Kareem saying this, by the fourth quarter, Magic's game plan was hope, prayer, and eye contact with the refs. They knew what was coming from the Raps. Well, we just locked it down, man. In some ways, we wanted it more than they did, and we went and took it. And that's how we won that game last night. Fiercely saying, agree with Infamous, cut some slack on IQ. That's right. We're not after people. We're not after people on our team. If you're after people on our team, you're not a Raptors fan. You're a person in Raptors Nation. You may be considered a troll. You may be considered a sad, pathetic person that's just sad in your life and you're lashing out at people. That's all you are. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can call you what you are. I won't give you a fan label, though. If you don't act like a fan towards the team, supporting the team, rooting for the team, cheering for the team, cheering for the players, I'm not going to call you a fan. You're a part of Fan Nation. You're part of Raptors Nation, but you're not necessarily a fan. You could be more likely to be a troll or just a sad, pathetic, angry person in their own life, and they need an outlet to act stupid. And that's why they do this in Raptor spaces. That's what I say right there. That's right. Andrew Pollander saying the East is gettable this year. Fact. For sure. For sure. I mean, Detroit's at the top of it. Who would have called that one? Seriously. Nobody would have. They didn't call us being up there near the top either. That's because the experts are not really experts. They're perception shapers. And they want you to perceive what they want you to perceive. And, well, truth is not always what they perceive, especially in a world of mega in the United States right now. They're trying to shape perception, but reality is not what they're saying. And ESPN's a good example of shaping perception and not being in reality. The Raptors will show them reality with where they finish in the Eastern standings. That's right. Vote for Scotty, guys. Make sure you get your votes in for All-Star. You guys want me to continue the Instagram stories. This is good. This is good. Kareem's saying the votes are 3 times today, so vote for Scotty for sure. For sure. Do it for him, Canada. That's right. Darko, very, very adamant. Canada, you're dropping the ball. Help Scotty. That's right. Kareem's saying, I think NBA voting should be only for bench players. Starters should be voted in by coaches. You want them to do it the flip. Yeah, sometimes the fans don't get it right. They vote people in that shouldn't have gotten voted in because they were injured and they had no business being in the starting lineup. This happens. I don't know. I don't know. I think the All-Star is just all screwed up. I think that this world versus the USA thing's gonna be stupid, just like every year so far. They need to just go back to what works and maybe throw incentives so the players will play harder. You know, the All-Star is so broken. And I feel like this world versus USA thing is so convoluted with 2 USA teams and 1 world team. And it's just dumb. It's already dumb before it's even happened. And I'm sure they're going to find ways to shade different people. Like Jamal Murray better be on that world team. And if I had my way, if RJ hadn't gotten hurt, he would have been on that world team too. But we'll just have to see how it all pans out. Dylan Brooks, put him on that world team, NBA. I dare you. I dare you to put him on that team. That'd be awesome. Let's see. G saying, unfortunately, Toronto is not an NBA free agent destination. Plus, the taxes are high here. So overpaying is one way to overcome that, not just our team. Many teams deal with this. I don't think we overpay. I think you giving that characterization is absolutely not true. And the other thing is, I'm going to break some more myths that G put out here. And I know that he doesn't mean anything wrong with it. It may be true we're not an NBA free agency destination, but the tax high thing, that's stupid too, because the NBA players get paid in US dollars. And actually, the conversion rate from US to Canada is amazing. You get so much money in Canada from American dollars. So a lot of the hype about this aspect with the financials is absolutely wrong. There's actually bonuses and pluses to being in Canada making American money. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions. I mean, sure, the tax rate is higher up here in some ways if you're paying tax, property tax or sales tax and shit like that. But it's like that in California too for the Lakers and the Clippers and the Warriors. It's the same thing. It's not much different. And in fact, there's more financial and bonuses from the exchange rate, is what I'm saying. There's a lot of bonuses, and people don't talk about that. And plus, the other thing is these Raptors in Toronto, they're getting freebies left and right, guys. Let's not twist it. There's people buying them dinners. They're getting free stuff all the time, free swag. So come on, man. Seriously, let's not paint this picture that this is not a good financial destination for players. That's not true. That's not true in the least. And overpaying players, once again, I solely reject that. Even the beginning of that notion, we're not overpaying anybody. We're paying. That was ESPN making up a whole bunch of shit this summer, saying that we have overpaid players in Emmanuel Quickly and Yaka Pirtle on our team, which was absolute horse crap. Absolute horse crap. Seriously, you can go look at the other players that are paid around the same as Emmanuel, and you go ahead and decide who you think is overpaid. Seriously. Yeah, it is what it is. That's for Bobby to figure out, not for us to be mad at. Yeah. Smooth saying Scotty definitely deserving of an all-star spot, and he is a top 20 player for sure. He's going to be a top 10 player in the NBA in the near future. Watch. Fiercely saying we have now joined the Pistons and Knicks in the 20-plus wins. Last year, we were so far from that target. Let's go Raptors. You know, one of the things they say in the NBA is if you can get to 20 wins before 10 losses, you are a true championship contender. And Detroit and New York were able to do that. They're the only 2 teams in the East able to do that with 20 wins, and they still don't have their 10th loss. And in the West, you got Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and Denver had done that before they lost last night. They had gotten to 20 wins. So if we're really looking at the 5 most serious championship contenders right now, it's Detroit, New York, Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and Denver. I think the Rockets might have also, no, the Rockets didn't get to 20 before 10 losses. So yeah, that's an interesting thing that I've heard somebody say before. It's like a good gauge is, do you get to 20 wins before 10 losses? Those are the true championship contenders for the season. G saying this, let's see. I vote daily, and I tried yesterday, and it kept saying error. That's interesting. Daniel Franklin saying it, good game for sure. Lots of complications for Raptors and Bobby to manage. You know, it's like they said, there's minuses and pluses to be in the Toronto Raptors. And well, we just try and really enhance and focus on the pluses and use them. And one of the biggest pluses is we have the whole country of Canada as our fan base and our territory. You know, there's a few pluses we have that are very good pluses. In some ways, that's part of the reason why the league holds us down, because they feel like we have unfair advantages over the other teams in certain ways. That's you know, that's true. I don't like to focus on all the things that we don't have. Because did that get any success from Masai Ujiri, worrying about free agency and things like that? No, he found the other ways to do it. And it's through drafting right and just very, very good development of young players within. And that's where the Raptors built We the North era and the golden age of the Toronto Raptors. So we could get all hung up on the things that are against us and focus on them. That's not going to help us. Let's focus on our strengths and focus on the things that we built in our culture and what Masai Ujiri has done here. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying right there. Reggie's saying the one question I still don't understand is that why is there still such ignorance in some NBA circles about Toronto? It's not. It's on purpose. It's on purpose. They really do sully us on purpose. These guys are not dumb. They're doing things like what I said earlier about listing Kawhi Leonard for 2019 as LA Clippers. That's a troll. That's on purpose. They want to take away every single aspect of putting us on blast. In fact, if you notice on the ESPN ticker at the end of the games, when we win our game, they list our game on the box scores on the strip on the ESPN website all the way at the end. So you don't see it. Like they bury it. You have to scroll over to get to our box score. They do this consistently with us. They always put our game all the way at the end so that when you go to the NBA page and you look for the NBA scores, they'll have the games of the teams that you want, they want you to see, and they'll bury the Raptors box score all the way at the end. So you have to bring it over to actually get to our box score. There's just little insidious things. This is all on purpose. It's all in marketing and shaping. They look at NBA Canada and having this is what I'm saying. The strength is we have the whole Canada to market. They all right, well, you have the old marketing of Canada. You don't get any marketing in the US then. It's really all part of it. It's all right there. It's part of it right there. Let's see. And they don't want to know about us because in some ways they can have culpable alibis saying, well, I don't know what they are because I don't pay attention to them. So when I talk about them, I'll just talk out of my ass and just say, oh, they're probably bad. Oh, they don't know what they're doing. They probably overpaid their players. They're just making up shit. They don't know what they're talking about. They really don't even put the effort in to come check on us. The ones that do, you can tell because they'll have opinions and they'll actually say stuff. The other ones that just say blanketed things that just don't make any sense, like Kevin Pelton and Zach Cram and these kind of writers for ESPN. They're those guys. They're those guys, man. Let's see. G-San, definitely more complications being the only Canadian team dealing with mostly non-Canadian players. They love Toronto, but more complicated for their family and friends, etc. So Raptors need to overcome more. Well, this is a hidden problem is that some of the players have family and friends that cannot come here to watch them play. You know, that's just the truth. I mean, if you have a certain history and criminal background or something like that, you can't come here. You're not allowed to come across the border. And I don't know how many players actually get into trouble for this with certain loved ones or people that are close to them, as far as like, yo, I wish you could come, bro, but man, you got charges. And like, you can't come up here. I mean, I have friends like that wanted to come here to visit me in Canada and they could not come into our country because they were felons. I mean, that's a hidden minus right there. But I don't know how many of these players care if those people come up here or not. I'm sure they catch up with them on stateside. And it's just that they can't come up here and see them play home games. So, you know, that's not a real huge deal. Maybe it's a big deal to a family that's from Mississippi and has never had a passport in their life, and they have to jump through hoops to get a passport to come to Canada too. That's another aspect of it too, for sure. Yeah, let's see. Kaloy's saying this. Sorry, guys, I haven't been paying attention to all the all-star voting. I'll try to create bots to vote for Scotty. There you go. You can create bots, Kaloy. We'll make good, positive bots for the world. Saying the right things. Maybe get the creator bot that speaks the truth about the creator that I just did as far as nature and its place in our lives. That'd be awesome. We need more bots talking that up. We need more bots to love. We need more bots out there in support of Emmanuel Quickly. That's what we need, man. We need that stuff, man. That's right. Neil's saying you want Scotty in the All-Star, then tweet it every day. The issue is not us. We are not enough as a fan base, so get out the word. Yeah, we're not going to get him in there that way. I'm not even trying, guys. I'll vote for him myself every day, but trying to promote this and stuff, we know we're not going to get him in this way. The coaches will get him in. He'll be on the All-Star team. Don't worry about this. The coaches will get him in. We know how it works, guys. The fans aren't going to vote him in. You know that. You know that. I wish he was like Vince Carter, where he's getting his highlights shown down south and he's become a huge phenomena. But maybe in some ways that's part of what they learned from Vince. It's like we can't let them have a Vince again. If we show too many Scotty highlights, he might catch fire like Vince Sanity. And all of a sudden we have to promote him as one of the top stars in the league. That may be part of the holding down of the Raptors franchise players over time, whether it's Lowry, DeRozan, Bosch, all these guys. It's like they learned from Vince. Oh, crap. They got a player that's absolutely dynamic and crazy and attractive. And all of a sudden, the Raptors have to be put on blast because Vince Carter is so popular. And now he's like the top vote getter in the All-Star. Maybe they realize is like, all right, if we start showing too many of Scotty's highlights too often, he might get some popularity like Vince. And all of a sudden, we can't control it anymore. And the fans absolutely are deciding that, well, Vince Carter is the most popular player in the league over Michael Jordan. You know, I think that may have something to do with it. Is like they learned things from Vince Sanity and Vince busting things open on a global stage for the Toronto Raptors. And they're like, we can't have another global superstar for the Raptors. So we'll hold down the perception of them in the U.S. media so that it can't get out of control like it did with Vince. I mean, could that be true? Do I sound like a conspiracy theorist? Could that be part of the whole action as far as like holding down Raptors stars over the years so that they don't become as popular as Vince Carter did? Because that got out of control and they couldn't handle it. And then who knows? Part of the leaving to go to New Jersey and stuff like that, that kind of star power, that kind of draw is important to the NBA. And they didn't want it on this side of the border. You know, Rob Babcock, Richard Petty, all the different people you can blame. You know, on this download, the NBA wanted him out of here too. You know they did. You know they wanted Vince Carter out of here. And any kind of like toxicness that could be played up and pulled apart in the relationship of the Raptors and Vince, oh, they were probably pushing it. And they were all about it because they wanted him stateside. You know, you can think about that really clearly with a clear head. You can see kind of the whole pieces of the whole thing. Whether you blame Vince or the organization or whoever for why he had to leave the Raptors, you know. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay's here. Good to see Shaq Lindsay. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. This channel is nothing without my paid members that support this channel every month, like Shaq Lindsay and Blackhawk. I appreciate you guys so much. Fiercey also. Watch the game again, but this time I played the Rocky Balboa theme song. Great motivator to start your day. This is awesome. The Raptors took a beating the first quarter, but kept fighting towards the end. Adrian. All right, Shaq Lindsay, I'm gonna give you a dunk for using playing the Rocky song over the game. That's awesome. So you got up and really did that. That's awesome. That totally makes sense, and I like it. All right, Shaq Lindsay's at 262. On his dunk chart. Wow, he's up there, man. You're top 5 dunks this year for sure. Daniel's saying if IQ is underplaying his contract, Sandro is super overperforming his contract. Yeah, and maybe there's some sort of balance in that. Maybe there's some sort of balance in that. You know, in some ways, like what guys get paid, in some ways it's just a number. And how does it really figure out the value? Sure, you could probably crunch numbers, be a stat head, and figure out exactly how valuable each person is on their contracts for this. But we may be shocked to see where IQ is with his money as far as what his output and what he's doing per game and stuff like that, PER per game and stuff like that, and usage and win shares and all that stuff. He may come out pretty well with some of his contemporaries in around the same pay price as him. You guys may be shocked to actually see, well, wait, when you put it in that context where you take the whole NBA and you take all the guys that are around that price for him, actually, he's a pretty good value when you look at some of the other guys that are getting that same amount. You know, you could do this if you really want to put the work in and figure it out, crunch all the numbers. People may be shocked to see that actually Emmanuel is not a bad deal for the money that he has. It's all people's just saying it's their opinion. It doesn't mean that it's actually true. You know, the people that matter are Ed Rogers and Bobby Webster and the MLSE ownership board. Do they feel like Emmanuel's worth his money? Well, if he isn't, Bobby can trade him. If he isn't, then we don't renew his contract. We don't pay him as much next time. So, you know, there's different ways to look at this. Shaq Lindsay saying unsung hero was Oshai. Not settling and driving the basket is what we needed to put pressure on the defense. Yeah, I definitely made that point earlier that when everybody else was outside, Oshai was going in. And that was absolutely necessary to help us in the beginning when we did not start well last night. We did not start well. G saying smooth, around 48% of Americans have passport. If they don't want to leave America, if they don't want to leave America if they can. Also, we hear the customs complaints. Lex grew up in the States, so he can people speak more to their mentality. Canadians are around 70% with passports, just for perspective. Yeah, I mean, some of it is that, it's expensive, and it's also a process that is lengthy, and you have to be diligent to go through it and go through interviews, and just to get the passport is a lot of hoops. And some people aren't willing to do that. Some people may not care about leaving the States, and that's why they don't do it. So, I mean, there's a lot to this. There's a lot of different things to this. Canadians are more likely to be multinationals, meaning that they have citizenship in other countries, and that their ability to travel from country to country is important to them. Whereas a lot of United States people may have been born in the country and they will just die in the country and they'll never leave the country. That's actually really true. That's actually really true. Shaq Lindsay saying Dick and Jacoby also chimed in. This is exactly what we need from our backup shooting guard when RJ is out. Yeah, Jacoby's really playing really well lately. Really, really well. RJ's Randolph's here. It always messes me up. It makes me want to say RJ, but I got to remember it's Randolph Phillips. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. The practice of claiming to have moral standards or beliefs to which one's own behavior does not conform makes you a hypocrite. Give others a fair chance. Yeah, well, none of us are all perfect, and that's why they say, judge not others, yes, lest ye be judged yourself. And, none of us are perfect. I'm only saying just in general, the action about what I was espousing earlier about what I believe religiosity and spirituality with the creator and God above is, and what you should do to respect and honor that. You could go to church, you could sing all the songs, you could, do philanthropy, and that is really great. But if you're also underhandedly in your another aspect of your life destroying the earth or destroying people's lives with being a healthcare executive who is absolutely honestly reprehensible and immoral the way the healthcare industry is in the United States. You got to think about your profession. Some of you guys some of y'all are in immoral professions that just aren't right with Christ in the first place. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite here and say I'm perfect. I know I have sinned and I've done different things in my life, and I've never actually professed to be a strong Christian most of my life. But I also understand in spirituality and stuff, you need guidance on what's right and what's wrong. And I'm just saying that maybe one of the basic things that people should start realizing about what is right and what is wrong is, do you create life or do you destroy it? Because if you create life, you're with the creator, you're with God himself, you're protecting what he created. If you're destroying what they created or she created, then that's a whole that's the opposite. That's not the right thing. And we can talk about moralistic behavior as far as morals and like sex and different, and like your ideas about what is just and what is right. That's different for every person. And then some people have different levels of things. But I think when you get to the core of things, what I'm trying to say is this is maybe the most important tenement of what morality is that, do you protect and uphold what the creator created and protect it, or are you actively destroying it for your own gain? That is the morality I think that may be more important in the future coming up, with possibilities of climate cataclysm and other issues that humanity may be facing soon. That it's not even going to be about like whether whether it's just or right to make money off of degrading the environment. It's like you actively did this, and now we're in this position. And in some ways, you're just like the cigarette companies. You lied to us about cancer and lung disease, and now we are in this position with our Earth being uninhabitable in a lot of places. And it's the fossil fuel companies' fault that maybe they should come around and pay for it. And maybe they should be liable for the mess that they made so much money off of. I mean, these are ideas that people should talk more freely and openly about more and more, because if you think about it, that is actually what should happen, because they're the ones who put all the carbon in the earth, the big Exxon and Shell and all those companies. and they're the ones that should pay for the problems that they've wreaked on us, is what I'm saying. At least that's how I feel about it right there. That's right. That's right. Blessings to the Phyllis family and all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. Blackhawk saying CMB is fine. First year rookie is doing great on defense. Offense will get there. Yeah, in some ways, you just got to clean up. I'm just tough on young players because I want young players to come in fundamentally right and do things right and not be a knucklehead. And if there's some things that they're not doing exactly right, well, I'll be tough on them because I don't want Colin Murray Boyles to be a 60% free throw shooter for his career. Do you? I don't want Colin Murray Boyles to be a 60% free throw shooter for his entire career. So you better clean that up, rookie, and get your fucking free throws straight and get your delivery and way you do it. See, that's constructive criticism. I'm not mad at him. I just want him to make his free throws when they matter because he can get away with it last night and we just barely win. But there's going to be nights where he hurts us if he doesn't get his free throws straight, is what I'm saying. Isaac saying Raptors stole that game. It was not magic. That's right. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying IQ didn't have a great game, but I can hear the Raptors Republic calling for IQ to be traded. Yeah, those guys are silly and they're jabronis. He's a great talent. He adds a lot of good, awesome things to our team, and we want him on our team because he's going to help. And we're already paying him. He's under contract. We might as well encourage him and feel good about him and wish the best for him instead of tearing him down and being all crazy today. It's crazy, man. Yeah. Seymour saying, salute to Infamous. He totally agrees with the call from the Infamous 6. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying, IQ is fine. Trust me. When IQ is on his game, he's a dark-skinned Steph Curry. You know, he played Steph Curry pretty good, and, you know, we won that game. It's all team results oriented to me. You guys can nitpick each individual, and sure, each one is going to get tape, and the team will go over it with the coaches, and they'll find out the little places they can make adjustments. But for fans, it's like ultimately we should just care about them winning. And if you want to get into the nuts and bolts of every single player like we do on this channel, you go ahead, but do it constructive criticism-wise. In some ways, just saying, oh, IQ sucks, just throw them away. That's not constructive. That's not constructive. That's not constructive. That's right. You will see. You will see. That's right. I like it. G saying CMB came in for defense. His offense will improve as he gets confidence with it. Once he understands his own strength, watch out, league. Yeah. I mean, I didn't have any problem with the unit they used at the end of the game. Obviously, it helped us win. And it was a very cool, interesting unit, a very defensive unit. That's for sure. Yeah. RJ is a keeper. Kenny, you have spoken such truth here. I'm going to go ahead and give you a dunk. Why not? I'm going to give Kenny a quick dunk. We're just coming in and saying RJ's a keeper. That's right. That's right, original Raptor Freak Kenny. You're at Colin Murray Boyles 12 for 2025 on the dunk charts. Mischief saying, I agree with you, Lex. Raptors need to start from the inside first and bring it out to the three-pointers after. It gives three-point shooters more time to stop, set up, visualize their shot without the ball. Part of the problem is when you miss so many three-point shots, you're killing your confidence. You're killing the vibes. You're killing the team's like good feels because you're, oh, boom. It's just like Colin missing 3 free throws in clutch. That kills our confidence. That's like, oh, that's why I'm so mad at him in some ways for it, is because you get up there and you miss some free throws. You're hurting our team with the flow and the vibes of like winning vibes, because that's loser vibes when you miss 2 consecutive free throws in the last 3 minutes of the game. That's loser vibes. And that's scary because that can snowball into the wrong direction of having bad stuff happen. That's why in some ways I was like, oh my gosh, don't miss these free throws because you could literally kill our team's momentum and make our team lose just from missing free throws, Colin Murray Boyles. So it's like as much as a big shot, a huge IQ 3 against the Warriors can buoy us into an overtime to win. You know, missing shots can also kill our momentum and make us feel, oh, and like, oh, you know, we want to avoid that. We want to avoid that. Start inside, work outside. Work outside after that. That's right. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying Colin landed on his face and said, who scratched me? This man is a beast. Yeah, they asked him about this question afterwards, and they were like, no, I just fell on it. And I think he's okay. We may need to monitor the injury list just in case there's some news on Colin because of his wrist or something like that, something weird like that. I don't know. I don't see any breaking news on Blue Skies right now. So, yeah, let's see. Roger Raymond's in the chat, another great supporter of this channel. Thank you to all the supporters once again for a great 2025. People like Mr. Roger Raymond helping me out every month. Good day, Raptor Freaks. Great to see Ingram blocking shots and playing defense. Yeah, he wants to be in on that stuff too. It's fun. It's like he sees Scotty. He's like, man, Scotty's having fun blocking people. I want to block somebody at the end of the game. Bam. Yeah, Brandon, you're awesome, man. You're becoming a true Raptor. You were a Pelican before, but now you're becoming a real Raptor, and you got to earn that Raptor red that you wear on your jersey. And the way you earn it is on the defensive end. And we're starting to see the notorious BI3 really earn his Raptor red stripes that he wears now. That's right. It's awesome. Chloe's saying IQ is not perfect, but his issues are very fixable. It's honestly not really issues. It's just some nights he'll have it and some nights he won't. And that's perfectly fine. When we have options on our team, like a lot of different offensive options, especially since Brandon's on our team now, if IQ is a dud for a night, that doesn't hurt us completely. If he was exactly dependent on, like we didn't have anybody else and we really needed him night in, night out to be consistent, this would be much more of an issue. But it's not really an issue, guys. That's the thing that I don't get with this whole coming after IQ thing. In some ways, if IQ has a dud game from time to time, it is not going to kill us because we won by 1 point still, despite that fact. In some ways, you could say IQ can be a baseline of a point guard, combo guard that's getting guys involved, and he can test his shot throughout the game. But if his shot's not there, well, we don't have to go with him further into the game like that. Although he is the kind of player, just like Fred VanVleet before him, that he can miss all of his threes for the whole entire game, and you can play him at the end of the game, and all of a sudden he hits clutch threes right at the end of the game and helps you win it, even though he was cold the whole entire game. So I envision this, and this is what I wrote in the song about Emmanuel for Christmas, is that he's going to hit huge shots in clutch for the Raptors more and more this season, just like he did on Sunday against the Warriors. And more Raptors fans will come to see he is valuable on his contract at the price it's at. And they'll be very, very happy that he's on our team because it just takes some more huge moments where he has an amazing game and he wins the game for us. And all of a sudden he's a fan favorite. And everybody's like, I love Emmanuel. He just gave us a win. That's the stuff that's going to happen. And it's going to turn this shit around. And then he'll get more respect. In some ways, he hasn't had the chance to do this enough since he became a Raptor. He was hurt too much last year. And in some ways, I want him to do this because he will make so much more fans in Raptors Nation if he comes out and he becomes a fan favorite because he's just like that, is what I'm saying. And I see it happening. Seriously, I really do. Stargate saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. A win is a win, whether it's by 1 or 21. It goes under the W column. We are 6 games over 500, but for some reason, some so-called fans are still complaining. I know. They're never going to be pleased. These are the juvenile fans that think you're supposed to win the NBA championship every year. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Mr. Quasimodo's back in the chat. Good to see you back, man. This was the most emotional win so far in the regular season. I really didn't expect a W with the Magic. I mean, I get it. I can see why people would be pessimistic with the way the game went in the first half. It's ugly. In some ways, we didn't deserve to win the game yesterday, but the Magic didn't deserve to win it either. So we just slightly deserved to win it a little bit more than them because they didn't deserve to win it. And we honestly, in some ways, didn't deserve to win it either, but we did in the fourth quarter because of the way we played our asses off on defense. That's what made us deserve to win it. Because we shut them down and held them to 12. Mr. Quasimodo, I'm glad you enjoyed the game last night and the roller coaster. And in some ways that's fun for fans. It's like we were losing, we hate it, and then we see an epic comeback and we were like, yeah, that's good for Raptors Nation for sure. It's very good. Stargate saying the chat and the post-game hello and welcome show was a bunch of nonsensical prattle spewing non-basketball ball knowing twits. Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, don't frequent it. William Liu. Alex Wong, what are you guys doing over there, man? Hello and welcome. We're toxic as fuck, and in some ways we hate ourselves, and it manifests through a show where we lash out at the Raptors. What is this? Come on now. Show the love, the passion. What's wrong? We won 2 games in a row on a back-to-back against 2 quality teams that are probably playoff teams. Maybe not Golden State, but we'll see. Maybe not Orlando. I don't know. They could fall out. Seriously. Jimmy's saying this, the IQ hate is really rubbing me the wrong way. We were a lottery team last year, and like it or not, he's part of the reason we're a top 4 team in the East. Got to be grateful. Insufferable fans, man. Yeah. Yeah, I honestly think that half of this is like New York fans acting like they're our fans. They really come after RJ and Emmanuel because they really want to win that OG trade. And, they can come in and they can act like they're Raptors fans and they could just stir the pot. They could come in and say, oh, IQ had a horrible game and go crazy on that. I really say, like, what are you focused on? You're just focused on the negatives or like this kind of stuff. I don't know if you're actually a fan. Like, you can come in and say all this stuff and be a Knicks fan just trying to tear it apart from the middle. I wish our fans were more aware of this. Now, if you want to be sheep and go get in that little flock and walk around with those people docking down IQ, you may be being led by a New York Knicks fan. You don't even know it, you jabronis. So come to the Raptors Freak because, my heart is pure for this team. It beats what is right there, right over it, right there. And everything that I'm going to say on this channel is for the benefit of our team to win more. But you may go other places like hello and welcome, and you may be around people that don't have the best intentions for the Toronto Raptors franchise and their success. So, you want to go where the heart is pure and true and authentic and real. Well, Raptor Freak Channel is your right spot if you're a Raptors fan and you love this team. There's no bullshit here. No, there's no fans of players first. This is team first fans. And the Raptors are absolutely number one priority in winning. And in some ways, as much as I love Scott, RJ, or any of those guys, I will pick the team before them because that's the kind of fan I am. But I am a huge fan of those guys, and I honor and love the culture and the history of the Raptors and all their players in the history of the 31 years. So you're good with me. You're good with the Raptors because if you're good with me, you're in good standing with the Raptors for sure. For sure. And not everybody who played for the Raptors is in good standing with me, Goran Dragic. That's right. That's right. Wayne said this, morning Raptor Freaks. Thank you to Wayne, the Sergeant at Arms, one of our moderators on this channel. Some players will have terrible 35 games. Some players have a fantastic remainder of the season games. Games mirror life for the most part. Yeah, there's ups and downs, ebbs and flows. And we just want all our Raptors to play at the highest level at all times as they can. And if they can't because they're tired and they're in Brooklyn because they got in at 5 a.m. in the morning, well, they do the best that they can. And hopefully the Raptors fans we can understand in some ways. That's right. That's right. Stargate saying the Golden State fan base are saying Kerr is now outdated. Yeah, that might be true. I mean, he's been there a long, long time. And well, I mean, they've run the end of their dynasty. I mean, they really are in the last fumes of that dynasty with those guys around. In some ways, they maybe should have switched them out a long time ago. They did get a championship in recent years, which is crazy. After we killed their dynasty in 2019. I mean, they are just holding on to nostalgia there. And in some ways, the Golden State Warriors are olden because of holding on to nostalgia. And maybe there is a smarter refresh, a shedding of the skin like a snake that you need to do as a franchise. And maybe that's part of the reason why what the Raptors did with shedding the skin for Scottie to build around him was the right move at that time. Is you hold on to people for too long, like Siakam, Anunoby, and Van Vliet, and you stagnate, and your team is not getting into the right place in the future. The Warriors are a good example. And that could be said about their main guys and also their coach. For sure, about their coach. Yeah. Shaq Lindsay saying the IQ hate is because RJ is playing good. The haters need to hate. Yeah, they got to have somebody. They can't come at RJ. The New York fans, I'm telling you, a lot of this is centered from New York City and Knicks Nation. A lot of the stuff that's talked about with Barrett and Quickly in particular, because they have a special place in their heart. They keep up with them. And the internet is an anonymous place where everybody can be on there and act like there's something that they're not. And they don't have to really be who they are. We have to realize this, people. We have to really much realize this. That's right. Neil saying I have 2 NBA accounts, so I doubled my voting. Good job. Good job. He's doing his part, Darko. He's trying. That's right. Fiercely saying I'd be curious to see which current NBA player fouls out the most. For sure, Wendell Carter is up there. I don't know. They usually have that listing somewhere. You could probably look it up. Always fouling out, always playing dirty. Stargate saying I voted as well. Hang on, it jumped ahead. I voted as well. Where is it? Here. Man, you guys are really filling it up today. I guess because I didn't get to do my normal show yesterday. You guys really wanted to talk a lot today, and that's good. That's good. Holy crap, man. You guys are really here. And there's a lot of you guys here today. It's really awesome, man. Good to see so many different names in the chat right now. Really, really good. Let's see. I voted as well. I don't usually, but I am this time. I believe the NBA voting is rigged anyway. Well, some people could say it's kind of like not point. It's for kids. In some ways, it's for kids. It's not necessarily. I mean, we could do it because you want to help. But in some ways, like I said, it's frivolous. It's not going to change anything. Scotty's not going to get voted in by the fans. It could help in some ways because like they'll look at the fan vote and some of the coaches may be like, Brandon got a lot of fan consideration here. Maybe we should add him to the team. There may be some coaches look at the fan voting and they're kind of like, okay, this is the people that the fans wanted also. All right, maybe I will look at these guys first. It could help in some ways that way, I guess. I don't know. Stargate saying, yes, I think Wendell fouled out the last time we played as well. Yeah, he does foul out. He does foul out often, guys. I don't know if he's number one in the league, but he is one of those guys. Kaloy saying, that made me chuckle, Lex. We have enough guys that clanks threes. Dunk for you, Lex. Yeah, Mogbamba, we don't need you to be shooting the threes unless we really need you, unless Darko tells you to. G saying, there's a difference between criticism because you want to see the player and team get better. Criticism. That's right. Some of these people are just gleeful and like making fun, or they want to be a troll, or they want to make funny memes, or they want to make nicknames up, and they want to like be stupid and very toxic. It's not necessary. It's not necessary, man. You want me to get a dunk for that about that one? All right, I'll take a dunk. I'll take a dunk. You said that you're saying I got a dunk for that. All right, I'm at 114 on the charts now for the year. 114. That's not bad. That's not bad. Let's see. Isaac's saying when you need one single point, Paulo pulls a step back away from 2-point range and settles for a 3-pointer. Someone should be fired. That's not magic. That's grade school math. I mean, I see it too, but anyway, I'm not going to complain. We got the win. That's all that matters, right? Kaloy saying we may see the Magic in the playoffs. That was a good win last night. Yeah, that could be possible. We could see them in the playoffs because they're a play-in team and we're a higher team that actually gets to play a play-in team in the first round. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. We have home court advantage as the 3 or the 4 seed, and they're in the bracket with us. That could happen for sure. The other thing is we're only going to play them 3 times this year, and we want to win the season series for tiebreakers. So getting the first one is very important. So now we only need to win one of the other 2, and we'll won the season series with Orlando, that's important. That is important. Name was saying this. People think playing an NBA game is like going to work and flipping some burgers. Nothing wrong with that, but not realistic. Yeah, it's hard. It's very, very hard. You can ask Grady Dick just how hard it is to play in the NBA. He can tell you. Blackhawks saying cold or hot, Toronto rocks. There you go. Yeah, WNBA. This is what I was thinking about. All right, the issues with playing in Canada for the tempo are not going to be the same because the WNBA season's in the summer, and being in Canada and Toronto in the summer is glorious. In fact, that may actually be making the tempo a free agency destination because you get to play in Toronto during the summer, Carabana, Taste of the Danforth, so much going on. Yeah. In some ways, the problem with coming to Toronto for the NBA will be the reverse for the WNBA. Why did Amir Johnson stay in Toronto every offseason while he was a Raptor? Because it's fun in Toronto in the summertime. And that may actually be a huge draw for Sandy Brondello and Teresa Resch as they build the Toronto Tempo roster very soon. Is like, yeah, but look at the weather in Toronto during the summer. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so good. And it's like a good temperature where you're not getting super hot. And I'm telling you right now, even though Canadians thought we had a super hot summer, that's nothing compared to the deep south where I come from down in Tallahassee, Florida. Ooh-wee. No, you don't even know what summers can be like. I heard Canadians complain, oh my gosh, the summer was so hot this summer. I'm like, no. And that's as a boy who grew up in Tallahassee can say that. I can say that right now. But yeah, that may be actually a draw for Teresa and the tempo. Is that Toronto is a beautiful place to be in that WNBA season. It could be very, very good. Let's see. Jason Smith is here. Good morning to you, Jason Smith. Thank you for the subscription. Everyone has a bad game. IQ is not a bad player. Next game, he can light it up. He is the best pull-up shooter on the team. I agree with this. I think Jason's come in with a very good point right off the bat. that, you know, there's ups and downs in the league, and he's standing up for IQ. And I respect that, man. Good job, Jason. And I agree. I mean, he could come out in the Denver game and absolutely be one of the main players that helps us win against the Nuggets. And that's what I'm saying right there. Good job, Jason. Good. Thanks again for the subscription, man. I hope you comment more. Nameless is saying, stupid idea. You don't want to over leverage Shead, you know, by starting him over quickly. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, you want to do the right process and the right steps for Shead too. He's got a learning process. As much as Shead was the chain guy and one of the main guys, he's pissing me off still too. And even Darko, he said this in the press conference after the Warriors game. He said, "Yeah, Shead was great. He had a plus 34, but I hated the 4 turnovers he had in the first half." Darko's seeing this stuff. I mean, Shead is still making dumb mistakes. Shead is still making boneheaded decisions, and he's screwing up still. I mean, it's kind of a balance 50-50. He's doing half really good things and half he's screwing up too, because he's still a second-year player and he's still learning the NBA and he still has certain limitations as a player, but he's learning how to get around those limitations and be successful. Some of it is the way he drives to the basket and attacks the rim. He's had to adjust just how you can do it safely without getting blocked. And then, you know, the other thing, and I said this to him last year on the stream, is Shead, you can be in this league for a long, long time if you make your open threes. And he's taken that very seriously. And he's been really good with his open threes. So that's definitely something that he's improved on this season. And he's showing more and more. But I think that what Nameless is saying here is right. You don't want to mess up the leverage of the pressure of building up Shead, but also he's nipping on Quickly's heels. In some ways, that brings out more competition and better results from those players. The hierarchy, the way it is. You know, we could get into whole history lesson with TJ Ford and Jose Calderon real quick and talk about what happened there. I mean, from Eric Smith's We the Raptors book, in the chapters on Jose and TJ Ford are both in there. You get both perspectives and how the way they looked at it. And it's never been a versus thing. They were very much a partnership. And Jose was very humble and saying, you know, TJ, he should start because he'll do better in the starting lineup, and I don't mind coming off the bench. You know, I would say this, that Shead, he looks up to Quickly because Quickly is his vet, and he's learning from him. And in some ways, as much as Raptors fans or Raptors Nation wants to upset that whole hierarchy, it's not good. It's not healthy. And Nameless is exactly right. There's a leverage in the pressure of the competition of the situation that's more valuable this way. If you do this, what happens is you hurt the confidence of IQ. You maybe put too much pressure on Jamal Shead too fast for where he is in his young career. So there's way too many ways you fuck this up than just saying, oh, magically, oh, Shead's better than Quickly, he should start over Quickly. No, because that's short-sighted and that's a casual take. And then honestly, you're not thinking in depth enough about it. Just how much that does not work, because what happens is if Shead comes in the starting lineup and he's absolute dog shit and you've hurt Emmanuel Quickly's confidence, where are you at then? You know, where are you at then is what I'm saying. UC's here. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. I love these crazy back-to-back wins. There you go, Raptor Freak. UC's enjoying the Raptors W's, coming back in the fourth quarter and getting them. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying these haters said before the season started we needed to trade RJ, but when RJ put that on the bed, they did a quick switch and put their focus on IQ. Yeah, they've gone to Scotty too this year. We've heard them come at Scotty in very venomous ways. We've heard them talk about Yak and his back being washed, and we need to move on from him. I'm telling you guys, we cannot call Raptors Nation Raptors Fan Nation anymore because it's been infiltrated by imposters, trolls, and people that want bad things for us that just are opining in our spaces. So just realize this. Once again, you take what they say as who they are, not what they declare themselves as. You can say you're a Raptors fan, but if you're talking crazy, toxic shit, I'm not going to believe you. I'm going to think that you're some other fan just faking and acting and catfishing like you're a Raptors fan. And just understand this is more real and more prevalent and more a part of everyday life in all aspects, whether it's politics, all kinds of things. There's bots out there. There are fake ass people online misrepresenting themselves. And we have to understand this every step of the way in everything we see online. And then you got to add in AI and all kinds of manipulation to fool people. You got to be very, very on top of things or you will get duped by the new world that is coming. So understand what sounds and looks like AI and voice manipulation. When the words aren't matching the lips, you can tell that somebody's digitally altered a clip. And there's going to be way more of this coming out in every aspect of life, more and more in media, because of the world we're moving into. So be aware of what is real and what is not, and hold on to what is authentic and real, because there's going to be a whole fake world rolled out in front of us, and it's up to us to reject it. It's up to us to reject it. That's right. Kaloy's saying this: I don't like the way some podcasters, especially in the Raptor spaces, do their critiques with players without context. IQ still adjusting to being a starting point guard. Sure. That's another good point. I mean, he's a young player still, and he's on a journey as a player, and it's not linear. It's ups and downs. We all know this. They've talked about it a lot right there. Stargate saying BI's turnaround jumper to the left is money. Yeah, he's so fun to watch. In some ways, he is somebody we need to get the ball to always, because he's going to be just like printing money off a printing machine, right? Print that money. Print that money. That's right. That's right. Kaloy, William Liu is very guilty of that. Okay. Okay, William Liu, stop being so depressed, man. Stop being so upset, man. You made the big time. You're a famous Raptors person. And in some ways, you've been involved in the team. Why are you so miserable, man? Get your life together and find some happiness derived within yourself. And maybe you'll have more sunny outlook on things. Chriscom's here. Good to see the great Chriscom. He's saying, good day, Lex. Good day to you, sir. I'm going to the 905 game tonight. How about them Raps? The way they took off the weak defenders to the end of the game was beautiful. We need more of that. Yeah. I like the lineup he played in the fourth, and I like that he stuck with them. It was very effective. And have fun at the game tonight against Westchester Knicks. That's right. The Raptors 905 undefeated streak is going to continue. And hopefully RFF will be represented strong by the great Chriscom at the game tonight. I'm wondering, are you going to courtside? I'm telling everybody, go to 905 and courtside and sit and get loud, Chriscom. Yeah, I want to know all about your experience at the 905 tonight. And tomorrow, if you can, come into the stream in the next couple of days after and let us know how you how your time was at Paramount Fine Food Center. That's right. Yeah, I did the refs earlier, and we've seen the Westchester Knicks a couple times this year already. I'd go over their roster, but I don't feel like it. But yeah, it should be a good, fun game. They should win. They should win. That's right. Shaq Lindsay is saying it's kind of me switching from Nesquik to Nielsen chocolate milk. Yeah, you go away from an American company and get a Canadian company. Right now, they have a tariff war and all this bullshit. We want to buy Canadian to strengthen our economy. It's very much become a government program, Canada First. Mark Carney is promoting it more and more. We're hearing celebrities like Martin Short and other people on the radio supporting Buy Canada. People like Tom Green, the great comedian who lives in outside of Ontario, moved back to Canada. He's very turned off by the things that have happened in the United States. He is only doing a tour in Canada. No American dates next year. And everybody's wondering, why aren't you coming to the United States? Well, Tom Green's a good patriotic Canadian, and he's going to do a Canadian tour. So he's telling Americans, if you want to see me, you got to jump the border to come see me across the border and come to Canada. Well, you can buy cookies. You could buy Nesquik. There's American, but there are alternatives that are Canadian in other countries too. And today I'd like to bring to you biscotti. It's like biscotti Barnes. Yeah, biscotti is a cookie. And these are Italian cookies. And this is straight from Italy, guys. I'm putting an Italian product on blast today. This is Creech. And this is a Gusto Senza Rianuse. I don't know how I did, Nameless, but you can grade me. These are gluten-free chocolate biscotti cookies, and they're fantastic with tea. They're fantastic just as a snack. If you want a little cookie snack, you don't have to get Chips Ahoy or this bullshit that's coming from American corporations. Go get an Italian cookie, because honestly, they're probably going to have better ingredients. The FDA in the United States is horrible for what they allow to be in food. So I found that as I boycotted more American foods, I've gotten healthier and my body is feeling better because I'm not putting so many chemicals and crap in me. So get these Italian cookies by Creech, and they've been around for a long, long time. They do a lot of cookies. This is straight up from the country of Italy, imported to Canada. So yeah, let's just cut the U.S. out. Let's start doing trade with great countries like Italy, and go get the Creech biscotti, the chocolate Gusto Senza Rianuse. Yeah, there you go. Straight goods on Canadian goods, straight goods on Italian goods. So make that switch from Chips Ahoy, Oreo, all that bullshit to Creech and the biscotti. They have vanilla ones too. I have a vanilla package over there too, but this is the chocolate right here. Yeah, these are so good. I'll get a cup of tea after this, and I'll have a little biscotti after the game. That's right, in honor of Scotty. Biscotti in honor of Scotty. Chris comes saying, praise the living God. Realistic message out there. Yeah. The God is the life that flows through us. And that's why when you kill something, you are killing God, because God in itself is in everything. God is in this bug on my window I can see right now. It's like you have God in you, just like God is in me. I recognize that. I can get to the stillness in the moment and in presence and get in the place of my breath in the present moment and understand the connection, the energy flowing between me and the energy from the trees and all the other living things around me. And if you can get to that point of understanding, then you can understand your place and your connection to God on a deeper, more intimate level. I'm telling you right now, if you're not a conscious person and you're just living in the material human world and you're just worried about this and all the man-made bullshit we're having, and you're not finding moments to connect with nature on a very deep energy level, you have no idea what God is. You have to get that. You have to find that connection. You have to get that. It's so important. Stargate saying William Liu brings up totally unnecessary negative talking points for absolutely no relevancy whatsoever, just to gaslight. He would make the excuse that it's journalistic objectivity. I know this is one of the things that I've always hated. People that don't like me think that they don't think I'm objective. They think that I'm just blindly a homer for the Raptors. I'm just always looking at the positive side for them. Well, in some ways, there needs to be a counterbalance to the other side that's absolutely way more prevalent and loud. In some ways, if I'm the one homer that's blindly positive for the team, well, I'm necessary in this world. Trust me, as a counterbalance for all the bullshit coming from the other way. And you can go ahead and say that I'm blind and I'm not objective and I'm not really a good expert on the Raptors because I just give them all the credit in positive ways. That's not true. Anybody who's watched my channel can understand. I mean, did you hear what I was talking about with Colin Murray Boyles and his clutch free throws earlier? Come on now. How much am I glazing the Raptors absolutely, completely blindly? I am not. In fact, I reward great historic accomplishments and achievements like Scotty's line against the Warriors the other night. I'll combat people like, different players that do not play up to their standards and should be doing better, and they're wasting their lives. So it's interesting. They say it's journalistic integrity. That for me to show that I have journalistic integrity, I just have to dump on the team every once in a while. Is that what this is, William Liu? You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. In some ways, once again, I'll say you need to find better outlets to get your angst out of your body. And it may not be talking on a microphone about the Raptors. It may be weightlifting, or maybe you get out there and play more basketball yourself and sweat it out and work it out on the court in those kind of ways. That's what I'm saying there, William Liu. You need an outlet, bro. This is what I'm going to say. Chloe's saying, yep, Stargate, he and him, Pensair, it's like these guys haven't played organized ball and have the balls to critique. I don't know what level of basketball those guys play at or what. I bet you if I took the court with William Liu, even at 50 years old, I'd fucking kill him in a one-on-one. Seriously. This is like, I got almost claw hands, and I'm 6'4", almost 6'5". And I actually do have some skills from playing ball because I played a lot. And I'm a highly skilled player, actually. I have pretty good dribble and a pretty good shot mechanics. So, yeah, you come on and play me one-on-one, William Liu, and I'll take you to school in a game of 21. Real fast, real nice, real quick. That's right. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Nameless is saying, I think some people are attacking IQ the same way they did Fred due to personal feelings. I think that it's just an action of our enemies. And I think that this is happening in other fan nations too. There very well may be Raptors fans that are going into Celtics Nation and posing as Celtics fans, and every single little thread that they can see to pull apart, they'll come in and just start talking toxic shit. This is what it is. We need to understand this. And this is common in all of them. I've heard in Spurs Nation, where the San Antonio Spurs are similar to us right now. They are having a season of success after years of not doing well. that there's Spurs fans that are acting just exactly the same way as some of the fans in the Raptors Nation. And it's just toxic bullshit. And there's Spurs fans saying the same thing that we're saying. That why are y'all always complaining? We're winning. Wemby's back. We're going to go in the playoffs. We beat Oklahoma City. Why are y'all upset? This is the same shit is happening in all of the nations of all the teams. So this isn't special to us. In some ways we can say, oh, Raptors fans are so toxic. Bullshit. This shit happens to the Lakers. This happens to the Knicks. This happens in Celtics Nation. This happens in Sixers Nation. In some ways, Raptors fans can infiltrate Sixers Nation real easy and pick it apart because we know Nick so well. We can come in there and cause seeds of dissent and doubt and Philadelphia spaces all over the place. Let's say I'm Sixers fan, number 34. Yeah, because I love Charles. He was always the favorite. I'm Sixers fan, number 34. Yeah, we need to fire Nick. Nick is horrible. We can just make up shit in other fan nations. If I gave somebody the idea to go do that today, well, they're doing it to us already too. And understand that's part of the action. That's part of the action right there. This is in all 30 fan nations. We're not special. I've heard the San Antonio fans who are doing better than us this year are having the same exact problems that we are having with their team also. Everybody's throwing De'Aaron Fox under the bus, saying, we don't need De'Aaron Fox. We got Dylan Harper. It's all the same shit. You just take the names out and you put in different names. And understand this is the new age of online warfare between fans as far as social media spaces and being trolls and being imposters and coming in and fucking with each other in different ways. This is what this is. Does that make sense to you guys? Does that make sense? And that's why I tell you, don't go by whether somebody self-identifies with their handle, Raptors fan, number 1, 1998, or something like that. Oh, they got a Raptors handle. They must be a Raptors fan. They may not be. That's what we have to understand. That's what we have to stand here is really a big part of it right here. Kaloy's saying the problem is the listener eats the shit up and is creating a negative fandom. Well, that's the problem. Yeah, that's why in some ways I feel responsibility on this channel to inform in an educated way, in a basketball sense, to have better fans for the Raptors so that we're better educated and we understand things better. And I think that our education as a fan nation over 31 years has gotten better and better from great teachers like Jack Armstrong and Leo Routens and Sherman Hamilton and Paul Jones and people like me on fan nations, educating people a little bit more about the sport so they understand it better. And then they can be more well-informed. That's important. But yeah, some people can give bad information and make bad fans, idiot fans, misinformed because they're just dumping like Debbie Downers and Eeyore in this shit all the time. Yeah, because they can learn that too. That's why my behavior, I want you guys to replicate me if you can. Be that passionate fan, that ride or die, who's just for their team no matter how many wins they get that year. And if you're at the game, you're chanting defense the whole entire game. Our fans helped a lot last night against Orlando. They got loud at the right times and really brought the energy up to help the Raptors take it home and win. And same thing against the Warriors too. Same thing. So good job, Scotiabank Arena. At times you're a little too quiet than I'd like when we're struggling. And I wish y'all would get just as loud as you do for free jerseys to hand it out to the crowd as you would for the team on the court. That's the one thing I still don't like. Is fans will get real loud for a t-shirt toss, but all of a sudden when the game and the players need them, y'all aren't getting loud then? Come on now. Where are your morals and where are your what is most important to you? Getting a t-shirt or getting a W? Come on now. Come on now. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. That's right. Shaq Lindsay's saying let's stop switching on players just because they have a bad game. There's still a lot of season to go. And remember, we were young and this starting lineup together is new. I agree with all of that. Stargate saying, I don't watch He Who Shall Not Be Named. He's a nonsensical Prado talking charlatan. I don't think he's even in Canada or a Canadian. Not worth my time. Yeah, I don't trust the guy. I don't trust him at all. We don't need to bring him up, guys. By the way, you guys don't need to bring him up. I'd rather you guys just talk about William Lou and him. In some ways, that other dude, he's not even worth bringing up at this point. In some ways, I get it. He's still got an audience. In some ways, he has an influence. But the more we lessen him, the better. In some ways, he doesn't need to be bring up here. That's why we call him He Shall Not Be Named. Because he is like that, Harry Potter. That's right. Jimmy Pope is saying IQ just had a near 30 and clutched up. People acting like he's a bum. I know. It's stupid. It's so stupid. Kaloy saying IQ is 6'4" with almost 7-foot wingspan. He has the highest true shooting in the team. His issues are fixable. He's such a talent. And he's growing. He's going to get better. He can. This is the thing. He's a smart guy, and he's a work in progress, and he's putting in the work. He's the right attitude. He can tighten up, and he's going to get better. He's going to get better. And you guys are calling it fixable. I call it just he's going to grow into a better and better player. And the template, in some ways, is his friend Tyrese. He's not going to get to the Maxey level, but he can get closer to Maxey more and more in the next few years. People will be very overjoyed, and they'll say he's making the money he's making. You know what I'm saying? Stargate saying John Collins is another overpaid bump. Yeah, how much is John Collins getting paid? And what is he doing for the Clippers right now, right? He's on the Clippers. You didn't even know that. Seriously. Chloe's saying the Raptors are notoriously cheap in the We the North era. They are now fixing that these days. In some ways, yeah, we've not spent when we could have at different times, but we've spent when it mattered. In the championship year we spent, and that paid off big. In some ways, that's kind of the MO for Rodgers, is he'll spend when it's close and it makes sense because we're going for championships. And well, the Raptors are on that way. He's doing it with the Blue Jays after a World Series appearance. Well, we can only think and hope that he would do the same thing for the basketball team he owns also. That's what I would say right there. Yeah. Shaq Lindsay saying it will take time. The Raptors freak. Every team needs a player like IQ can keep defenses honest because of his range and his speed. He's very, very helpful. In fact, that period of the 6'9" wings and Malachi Flynn, we wanted a player like Manuel so bad. He's on the wish list, and we got him. And now fans are acting like this about him. It's so stupid. We wanted Jakob so bad, and then fans act like this about him. It's like, why? We wanted these people years ago, and we finally got them. We wanted these types on our team. We wanted a Maxey type player, and we got it quickly. So, I mean, how soon do we forget this, Raptors Nation? Seriously, how soon do we forget this and turn on him? It's so stupid. It's so stupid. I'm not turning on you, Emmanuel. I'm not turning on you with them. I will not do it like them. That's right. That's right. Neil's saying, I don't care what players get paid. It's all about synergy on the court. That's all that matters. Front office will address all issues sooner or later. It's always a matter of time. Exactly. And in some ways, you invested this in Emmanuel. The investment is to see him be successful and to grow. And it's not like the decisions made on him just after one game. This is ridiculous. This is a whole season, and there's so much time. But Raptors fans want to declare like a judge. Order in the court. Order in court. The verdict is in. Emmanuel Quickly's out after one game, even though we're disregarding the game before where he absolutely was clutch and helped us win against the Warriors in overtime. Like the verdict. Like you make the verdict, you fucking idiots. No, Bobby Webster makes the verdict, and he does it on his own time, on his own patience, and calculated and smart and mature, thought out way, instead of a casual knee-jerk reaction to an emotional little piece of shit in Raptors Nation thinking they know Emmanuel Quickly and who he is and what he's going to be. Oh my gosh. Jimmy's saying we already have 20 wins. Last year we had 30. Man's got to be grateful. Exactly. These people don't know what gratitude is, some of them in Raptors Nation. Neil's saying All-Star is about exposure for top and future talent. That is what Adam Silver needs to push, grow the business. Yeah, Scotty's a great face of the league. He could push more, but alas, he's on the Raptors. Maybe we will eventually start pushing him better. Watch. He might have to because it's just undeniable, is what I'm saying. Yeah, Mr. Quasimodo is saying that's such an awkward conversation. It's like talking about somebody's salary. Yeah, for sure. Shaq Lindsay saying IQ is overpaid. What the fuck? Let's see. What are they saying? Oh crap! It went all crazy. Why is it doing that? Hang on. IQ is overpaid. What the fuck? Have you seen Orlando's salary? 215 in luxury tax. Hell, or should I mention the Cavs? Laugh out loud. Yeah. Those are good examples. G saying the Cavs is going up 10% next year and 7% after that. Also, we have Birds' rights, which isn't talked about enough. This lets teams retain talent without dismantling the roster. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The cap goes up, and Emmanuel's money will look better and better as time goes on. Honestly, in some ways, we got him locked in at a lower price at earlier rates. If you really pay attention to mortgage rates and stuff like that, you understand what I'm saying. Oh, we got to lock in on this rate, honey. We got to get on this rate. Well, we got in on this rate on an IQ before the big money hits. And that's part of why he's not overpaid and the casuals don't understand yet. That's it right there. That's right. Blackhawk's saying, actually, Lex, all basketball players are overpaid. That's the world we live in where teachers are underpaid, but sports entertainers get the most. I mean, I'm not going to argue with them, but they do derive a certain revenue for the league, and they're getting 50% is their share. So they're getting paid the amount that they derive in the economics of the NBA, and this is their fair pay in accordance with what the owners get also. So I would say that. G saying this is true about the conversion rate. When I say overpay, it's because people are looking at teams like the Lakers, Heat, Knicks that get free agents easier. League helps. Most teams overpay. Yep. Yep. That's all valid right there. Stargate saying Lex. And you know what the really sad thing is? The mainstream Canadian sports is not much better either. This anti-basketball agenda that has reared its ugly head in Canada is a real thing. Oh, for sure. And we've gone over all the different ways this happens. For sure. That's why we really are a super attractive team, and our brand grows because people that are maligned, misappropriated, misjudged, overlooked, people that identify as underdogs, people that have had to go against harder obstacles, they identify with the Raptors. And in some ways, all of this kind of energy towards the Raptors of downplaying them and not giving them their due, it actually makes them more attractive to make them even more popular to people around the world. That's the craziest thing about it, is in some ways they can sully us and do all this stuff, but smart people can see through it and they'll identify with the Raptors more because of it. And all of a sudden we get a very loyal, strong, passionate, global fan base that can see it all. I mean, there's Americans that are in our chat right now, Bryce Lawson, Nins, Paul B, a lot of people that live in the States, and they identify with the Raptors in certain ways, partly because of this phenomena. It could be that you feel like you're an underdog yourself. You know that the Raptors are an underdog team. And in some ways, that's why you're a Raptors fan. You know, you could have a team in your city and it's like they win so much, but in some ways that's too easy, like Chev or something like that. Chev's like, I don't want to be with the Knicks anymore. I don't respect them. And in some ways, I respect the underdog fight of the Raptors and their success through it all. And in some ways, I want to be a part of that. That's a crazy thing. They could do all this stuff, and it actually makes us more attractive and more valuable because of the weird effect of it. If you think about it, it's really interesting. Shaq Lindsay saying the cap goes up and IQ's salary remains the same at $32.5 million for 4 years. I think it's a steal compared to AD, who's at 54 and climbing 62 million. Yeah, Anthony Davis is stealing money. That man doesn't stay healthy. And is anybody going to say he's overpaid? And these jackasses who are talking about IQ right now are probably the same ones who were pushing to get Anthony Davis on our team. So hello, consistency and thinking about this all rationally and what you're getting for what you're getting paid. Stargate saying, I believe the NBA and Hockey Canada, NHL are in cahoots. I have paper trail. I mean, either way, it doesn't matter. We're up against what we're up against. We know what it is, and we go right through it, whether it's 8 versus 5, whether it's association versus 5. I don't give a shit. The Raptors are just like that. We're going to go through it, and we're going to find success either way because that's the way Masai built it, and that's the way he stands with it, and he believes in it still to this day. That's right. That's right. Neil saying, actually, Lex, there was more of a push among the fan base to get votes in previous years. The bandwagoners are needed here. However, the losses breed whiners that complain too much instead of support. It's kind of weird. We're winning more this year. We're getting less all-star votes. Once again, I don't care about this. This is not something that we should talk about overly, the all-star votes. I'm glad Darko's pissed and he wants Canada to vote more for Scott. But also at the same time, if I'm asking myself realistically that it's not going to happen, why do we even bother? And the coaches will take care of Scotty. And that's all that matters right there. The coaches will take care of Scotty. They have to game plan for him. They understand how good he is. They will put him on the all-star team. The coaches will. The fans are never going to vote Scotty in. And in some ways, it's all wasted air and stuff like that. We can vote. Let's just do it symbolically. But in some ways, does it really matter? Is it going to make a difference? No. And the coaches will take care of Scott. Watch. Chris comes saying, I'll trade IQ. The reason I said we have the best young foundation in Raps history, Chucky and other guys can replace him. And the main reason is defense. Well, not anytime soon. If this is a situation that happens because it makes sense to Bobby, I'll probably endorse it. But right now, it doesn't make any sense. We've got to build up Manuel. And in some ways, we got to allow Shed to grow more as a player. In some ways, I'd like the long-term have Emmanuel here. But Emmanuel's not dumb. He understands it's a business. And in some ways, he may have different chapters of his NBA career other than just New York and Toronto. But either way, all good things in the right order. Let's not rush anything. Even if that seems like what is the writing on the wall, as Fred VanVleet saw the writing on the wall when Scotty showed up. You know, Emmanuel's still presently on our team, and we don't want things to be toxic, even if the murmurs and the long-term goal is Shead's taking his place. And Chucky is good coming up underneath him. You guys are going way ahead of yourselves. In some ways, I'd rather see a world where Emmanuel quickly kicks so much ass, becomes a Raptors legend, an NBA champion with the Raptors, and he's beloved on the level, getting close to like Lowry. I'd rather see that future coming ahead for Emmanuel quickly than him getting better on our team and then a front office move decides to move him to the next place. In some ways, that's the future I want to paint forward for Emmanuel, is winning a championship with his friend RJ here in Toronto and becoming a Raptors legend forever because of it. That's what I want right there. AC saying, damn it, Jokic out for 4 weeks. Aha, fantasy Chico done. Okay, so HC's going to feel this one because that's his main dude, his top pick. Nikola Jokic is out for 4 weeks. Wow, he would be the one who would know first, considering he has been his gravy train for his fantasy team. Well, that undefeated streak that you got, HC, it may be in jeopardy without your Nikola Jokic. This is very intriguing here. Shaq Lindsay saying IQ probably scored more points in 30 games and had more of an impact on winning than AD because he only played in 2 of those games. Laugh out loud. Man, I mean, you want to compare those guys. I'd much rather have Quickly on my team than Anthony Davis. And people that disagree with me on that, well, I can already see why maybe you and I would not totally see eye to eye. If you don't think that Emmanuel Quickly is more valuable in some ways than Anthony Davis right now, I could explain it to people real quick. Yeah. Roger Raymond saying U.S. citizens pay taxes in both countries, but they still make more than enough. Yeah. The other thing is that we're paying taxes, but we get free healthcare. So we may pay a little bit more in taxes, but we're getting free healthcare. They're paying part of their taxes through their healthcare system. So you could add all that healthcare pay and how much it costs to have healthcare in the States. You might as well add that to their tax bill. And who is really paying less in taxes then? Especially with the gouge that's coming next year with 2026 and how they fucked up the Medicaid and the Medicare. It's like people are going to be hit harder than ever financially from medical costs. And honestly, that should be counted as your tax cost. It's just a convoluted way for a middleman, a healthcare industry to make money off of people like parasites. Once again, these are anti-creator, anti-Christ kind of people that are jumping in and hurting people, making them have worse health outcomes because it's a predatory healthcare system in the United States, an unnecessary one where middlemen are sitting in the middle making a whole bunch of money when they're absolutely not necessary in any kind of way. It should just be doctor and patient. All these insurers, they need to get the fuck out. That's what it is right there. Neil saying this, I'm going to point this out. IQ is important for us getting shots up. The point guard experiment is not great, but it's addressed with the quick shed lineup where the team needs to focus is defending threes. Yeah, we need more offense. We've been a team that has struggled offensively for a couple of years now, and Emmanuel is part of helping that. That is for sure. Infamous saying it's never about what a person is worth. It's what you're willing to negotiate. That's true too. And he got that money and he got that negotiated and he stayed in a Raptors uniform. And some people wanted to opine that it's overpay. Well, how do you know that? We have to see him play and how much he performs on it over the course of it. And then we can maybe understand whether it was a good contract or not. People declaring it's a bad contract before he's even like fulfilled parts of it. That's blindly just saying he's a failure without knowing whether he's a failure or not, because he's not a failure. You're going to see. Joshua Monroe's in the house. IQ's value will be tested in the playoffs when we see how much he has grown or gotten better in his point guard duties. This is very valid. This is very, very valid. I would say this is very valid that, this is the time where we got to see if these guys really earn their money, is when the chips are down and when we are playing for something that matters. Good point, Joshua. Thank you for the subscription and your comment. Blackhawks saying push voting on whatever medium you have, Threads, Blue Sky, X, all that stuff. Yeah, if you want to do that, you guys want to vote, go ahead and do it. Do it. Trevor's saying every time you dismiss one of God's creations, you're dismissing God. Yeah. If I went over and smushed the bug that I see on my window right now, I'm doing a crime against God because God created that bug. And that bug is just as important to be in this world as I am because God created both of us. So it's like if I go and smush that bug, I'm doing a face to God. Seriously. And that's just a small minor, or is it a small minor infraction? Or maybe it's all major, all life forms are equal in God's creation and eyes. And that it, killing any kind of stuff in nefarious bad ways, unnecessary ways, is an affront to God's creation. Oh man, it's tough, man. Yeah, it's tough stuff. That's an amazing, powerful thing, man. When you understand this, that's right. Voldemort. That's right. Kenrick's here. Good to see Kenrick Chronic Art James in the house. He's a tattoo artist here in the Greater Toronto area. If you've ever wanted to get some good Raptors ink on your body, Kenrick's your dude. Seriously, you can find him on most social media platforms. He is doing Raptors tattoos for people all the time. And I bet you he could do one real nice for you if you've ever thought about getting one. So look up Kenrick Chronic Art James on social media platforms to get in touch with him, and you can solicit him for artwork, not just on your body. He'll do it on a piece of paper too if you want something cool to put on your wall as a poster or something like that. But yeah, Kenrick's saying this: I believe Mo Bamba will pick up the timing of the team and he will learn our system. That's right. We want to wish in good things. I don't want failure from Mo Bamba. I want Mo Bamba to stay in the NBA as a badass center for the Raptors, learning our system and showing that he belongs in this league once again. That's what we want. We want the best outcomes for all our Raptors in all the different ways. That's right. Alan Real Coprieri. I'm sorry, I messed that up. I was just call you Alan. Thanks for the subscription. He's saying I've subscribed because of all you said is true, and it makes me laugh. There you go. Well, I appreciate that, man. I mean, in some ways, look, I'm not always going to be truthful. I may lie for the team sometimes. Like I made a lie about Kyrie Irving this summer. It was fun. I was saying that Kyrie's going to become a Raptor. I tried to make up a rumor. It was an experiment. It didn't work. I try to be as authentic and true in my life as I can. I'm not perfect. And I wouldn't say that everything I say is absolutely true. Obviously, some of it is opinion. Some of it is perception. But I do try and view the basketball world in a truthful way, from an educated way, from my life experience and watching it, and also playing basketball myself for many years when I was younger. So there is some educated views, but I appreciate that, Alan. And you think I'm spitting facts here today? All right. Well, thanks for the sub, and I hope you come in every day. 4 years straight doing this show every single morning, not taking a single day off. You can count on the Raptor Freak stream if you want to talk Raptors at 9:30 a.m. every single day. You will find me here. That's right. And I hope I see you more in the comments, man. Chris comes saying, I got love for Quick, but I need that defense. Quick isn't really a point guard, more of a shooting guard. If his shot is off, then, well, you will know. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing I'll say to these guys, all of them, the youngsters on the Raptors. You want to stay in the NBA. You want to make a career for yourself like Chris Boucher did. You have to find things that are valuable, and you have to have a baseline of contribution that you can do whether your shot's falling or not. That's why I say to Grady recently, Grady, your threes may not always go in, but if you get on the floor and you hustle after the ball and you're showing scrappy effort after rebounds and loose balls, you will continue to play on the court, even if you're not making your shot. So every single one of these guys, like with Emmanuel in this aspect, I would say, Emmanuel, if you just take care of setting up some of your teammates and getting assist to turnover ratio good, even if your shot's not falling, you're useful to us. Then you add in that you're a plus rebounding guard who actually gets way more rebounds for a guard than the average guard in the NBA. Woo-wee, you're helping us on a whole other level that is going to help us in more than just scoring and hitting your threes. So get a bread and butter, get something that you can offer the team, regardless of whether you're playing well offensively, and you will stick around in this league. Trust me. And that goes for all those players. Jacoby, you get on the floor and you go after that ball, you're going to get more shots that are going to fall later because you're confident, because you're showing good winning plays to help the team win, and it snowballs into itself. And all of a sudden you're hitting your threes in the corner again too. So yeah, Grady, Jacoby, keep going the direction you've been going in the recent games. It's the right direction. And Emmanuel, well, you gave us stuff last night, even if the haters are hating on you for not scoring any points. You got 5 rebounds and 5 assists, and you did contribute to a 1-point victory, even if the casuals can't see it. Even if they can't see it, he helped us win. If he doesn't score the points that he did score, we lose because we won by 1 point. So it's a team effort. And even if somebody's not playing absolutely to the top of the best of their ability, they still contributed to the win on some levels, didn't they? Didn't they? I would ask you that. That's right, Alan. That's right. For sure, brother. I love it, man. I love when we get new Raptor freaks in the house, real ones that really love their team. All right, let's do the rundown real quick. The game tonight, Westchester Knicks at Raptors 905, 7:30, Paramount Fine Food Center. Our good friend Criscom's going to be in the house for this one to hold it down for the RFF. Our referees are Charles Watson, number 60, Sarah Williams, number 20, and AJ Ganelli, number 62. My stars for the game last night, a 1-point win the Raptors had over the Magic was fantastic. Really, really good job. My 5 stars of the game were Jamal Shead, number 1, Grady Dick, number 2, Oshai Abaji, number 3, Sandro Mamukelashvili, number 4, and Brandon Ingram, number 5. Honorable mention to Colin Murray Boyles and Jacoby Walter also on that. Well, I didn't give them the stars, but they were absolutely helpful to our team. Let's see if there's any breaking news. I don't see any there. Raptors Reddit. Do I dare even look at you? Oh, you know what? They got a present for that little kid, right? The famous kid that dances, the dancing kid. I guess the dancing baby. The Raptors sent him a present to his house, and he opened it up, and it was a bunch of Raptor swag, like jerseys and all kinds of stuff. Man, this kid is such a celebrity. The little kid, oh my gosh, he's so awesome. We love this kid. This kid's gonna be like a real Raptor freak when he gets older, because he's like, it's just over. It's like he's a number 1 Raptors fan because he's just so cute the way he was dancing, and like he's just awesome. There he is opening the bag, and like, look, he got a hoodie. He's so cute when he's looking at it. He's like, he's just a kid. Oh, and there's a little foam finger. He put it on. Yeah, number 1 Raptors. Yeah, shake it, kid. Yeah, I'm reacting to the little kid getting his swag bag. Oh, there's a full jersey outfit. Holy cow, this kid cleaned up, man. Shelby and the Raptors hooked him up. Oh my gosh, they hooked him up. You got a toque too. You got a new toque. Man, this guy better be on the TV just like the dancing guy and the old man who gets all crazy at the 4th quarter. Man, this little kid needs to be a regular Raptor fan that's always seen at the games. I'm sorry, Mom. You got to get season tickets for this kid. He's important. He's vibes important for the arena. He's so important. He is so important. Y'all, once again, happy birthday to Ulrich Shamshay. He's 20 years old today. I wish I knew more about the fitness to play panel, but it's so mysterious and fucked up, stealing Cameroonian centers from the Raptors over and over again. Either way, Shamshay, it's your birthday. I wish you were on the Raptors right now, but you are not. You are a free agent. You are in limbo, and I only wish good things for your health, and I hope you become a Raptor once again someday. So happy 20th birthday, Ulrich Shamshay. You should not be in this position right now. Also, I want to say happy birthday to Paul Watson, former Raptor. Paul Watson's 31 years old today. Of course, Paul Watson played on our team from 2020 to 2021. He was around on the Raptors Tampa year. You guys remember Paul Watson, right? He is most recently on the Valley Suns, the G League team for the Phoenix Suns. Most recently. All right, let's get into, we got to do the classic card. Of course, Lex, don't forget your classic card. Some people show up just to see this, the classic card right here. All right, let's see. First person to write the full name answer of the person on this classic card will get the classic card points. So be quick with your fingers and make sure you do full name. Don't write half the name, because I won't give you the points if you just write their last name or something like that. You got to have the full name. All right, this is for sure an old school classic card. So let's see who knows who this player is. This is actually a tragic story. But yeah, if you guys could tell me who this player is from the classic days of the NBA, you get the classic card points right here. Dale Ellis. That's not right, Isaac. That is not Dale Ellis, the power forward from Pacers days with Reggie Miller and Antonio Davis, of course, the Raptor All-Star. And Dale Davis were pairing. This guy does not play that position. He is more of a 3, if not a 2, this player right here. And as I said, this is a sad story what happened with this player right here. But yeah, if you can tell me who this player is, like, you get another guess here. I could maybe give you guys some clues on their name structure, but I'm surprised nobody got this right away. This is kind of a famous player, and what happened to him is messed up. I mean, he died very young after his NBA career is what happened. Reggie Theus is not right, Isaac. No, this is not Reggie Theus. I would say his last name is kind of like the same as a brand of mattress, and also maybe a little bit similar to ice cream brand too. Is his last name? Does that help? I think his last name is a mattress brand. Like you could get it Sleep Country Canada. Sleep Country Canada might buy a mattress anywhere else. See, straight goods on Canadian goods. His last name is a mattress company, I'm pretty sure. So if you know that, let's see. His first name is the same first name as the sixth man for the Kings. Ooh, does that give it away? His first name is the same first name as the sixth man for the Sacramento Kings currently, and has been for a couple years now. So if you know that guy's name, you can get the first name of this player, and that can start to piece it together. Come on, guys. We have an astute crowd here. Ooh, that's getting closer, Fiercey. You got the first name right. Malik Simmons. The last name initial is right. Malik is the right first name. I was talking about Malik Monk, and this is a Malik, but that is not Malik Simmons. Simmons Body Rest. Is that what you were thinking? No, there's another mattress company that starts with an S that is his last name, I believe. Yeah, Malik Sealy. There you go. HC knows. Yeah, Malik Sealy is the player. There it is right there. Yeah, Sealy mattress, right? Isn't there a Sealy mattress? Yeah. So, yeah, and you're just behind HC. The undefeated gets this one. So, HC, good to see, man. Get the classic card trivia points for today on Malik Sealy. I believe Malik died tragically in his retirement after retiring. HC, man, I'm going to give you a 200 for that. Rest in power, Malik Sealy. Yeah, I believe that's what happened. I may be mistaken. Maybe I should go fact check myself real quick, and I'll understand it. Malik Sealy. Oh, man. Yeah, he died in 2000, eh? He died in 2000 in an automobile accident at the age of 30, and he was still playing in the league at that time. So he died while he was actually in the league. It says there that Malik Sealy was killed in St. Louis Park, Minnesota on May the 20th, 2000. He was driving home from a birthday celebration for a teammate and best friend, Kevin Garnett, in downtown Minneapolis when his sport utility vehicle was struck by a pickup truck traveling the wrong way down the highway. The truck was driven by a 43-year-old person who survived the accident with head and chest injuries. Neither driver was wearing a seatbelt. And they are saying that the guy was drunk. He is a victim of drunk driving that ran into Malik Sealy, and that's how he died. That's awful. That's absolutely awful. 30 years old. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak stream. I'll be back tomorrow with a preview for the Denver Nuggets game on New Year's Eve with the latest lineup news and the ref report. You know, ref report is undefeated. And it does matter which referees show up for NBA games. We can tell a little bit more about the chances for the Raptors to win by who the three zebras are. So if you want that aspect in your life, I'll tell you right now, Alan, you can find that aspect by watching me every day on game days, because I'll tell you exactly who the refs are in the morning, and I'll tell you our win percentages with them and whether they're good refs for the Raptors or not. All right, y'all. Have a great day. I appreciate everybody. Let's go, Raptors. Keep your head up high. The vibes are good. Why are y'all acting like the house is on fire and somebody shot your dog? So go ahead and just chill and have a good time. Enjoy the ride. Just like Vince said, enjoy this, Raptors fans, even if you hate my ass and you never want to see me get my jersey retired. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. We're going to make you enjoy this Raptors season of winning and getting the playoffs, whether you like it or not, Raptors Nation, with your bullshit about IQ. That's right. You enjoy this, like Vince said. Enjoy this damn season. We got 20 wins, and it's not even New Year's. So see it right there. Hey, there you go. I like that percent reality. Thank you, man. That's a big compliment. I appreciate that. All right, let's go, Raptors. You know I'm pure of heart for this team. You know that I'm coming at it with the right attitude as far as for the team, for the Larry O'Brien's coming to the Toronto Raptors. And I know y'all are like me, and that's why y'all enjoy my show, because y'all are real ones for the team, just like me. And that's why we need more real ones in this nation, obviously, with all this noise coming out, all the crazy ways with these people right now. Let's go, Raptors.